Ironside will not be seen tonight, so we may bring you the following special program.
If you're here at Word Balloon, it's because you like comics, creators, conversation, pop culture subjects. Would you consider joining the League of Word Balloon listeners? Patreon.com/Word Balloon. When you subscribe, you'll also be part of the Word Balloon Book Club, where Brian Michael Bendis and I will pick a comic every month to review and discuss live with the League on this show. Join the League today, patreon.com/Word Balloon. Thank you always for your support, League of Word Balloon listeners. All right, we're back. Welcome again to another Trek Watch here on the Word Balloon Network. We had three of us are here. We got Franco, we got Wayne, we got myself. Mitch is on assignment, and actually he took the shuttle and accidentally time traveled back to the 50s. So I'm hoping he can find his way back and everything. But while he's away, we'll the three of us will muddle on. But yeah, you know. So there you go.
I have to say, when I saw the image of the book club, and of course there's the bald guy with the beard, I'm going, I wonder who that could be.
I don't know. Who?
I don't know.
I understand. Well, you know, we I like the book club, and we did our first meeting at the beginning of the month, and it was Criminal, and not the club itself, but the actual book we read. And yeah, it went really well. I was really happy with that and everything. Oh, Carrie's joining us. How you doing, Carrie? Good to see you.
How could you get in the book club, Johnny?
You have to be a patron. You have to be a paid subscriber to Word Balloon's Patreon. Patreon.com/Word Balloon. Thank you for the plug, Francis.
Oh, you're welcome.
And we'll remind people that Terrificon, I forget the specific date, but mid-August at Mohegan Sun is coming up because I know Mitch isn't here to promote. But that's okay.
8th to the 10th.
8th to the 10th. There you go, man. That's great. Oh, yeah, Carrie was part of the book club. She said, I loved it. I'll be attending every session. Very nice.
Oh.
So, yeah, next book is Saga.
I believe that's pronounced Saga.
Saga.
I believe.
Like data.
Mm-hmm.
I pronounce it data. So, hey, let's dive right into it. My God, guys, there's already, you got to love the networks. They try to spin everything positive. Hey, guess what? Stranger Worlds has been approved for a 5th season. Yeah, but it's only going to be 6 episodes, and it's going to be the end of Stranger Worlds. It's like, all right, thanks, I guess. Whatever. Here's a big group shot.
Oh, everybody looks spiffy.
And I met every one of them.
Everybody but Scotty in that picture. Yeah. Yes, you have, Wayno. I understand. Did you guys see the most recent trailer for the upcoming season, where Kirk is going to be in command at some point? It looks like on the Enterprise.
Yeah,
I know, dude.
I missed that one.
I got Franco. I'm really glad you made that sigh, because truly, man, it's like, will you please get back on the goddamn Farragut and tend to your business, Commander? It's like, I'm sorry, it was cute. but it's like he is. I mean, that's why I think he's in the group shot. He's basically a regular.
You know what? Someone mentioned somewhere. I can't remember where I saw it, so forgive me. But someone, and it hadn't popped into my mind, but someone said, "Oh, after this, after they finish up their run here, are they going to do a remake of the original series?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, why? I hadn't even thought of that. But like, why would you do that? Why?
Someone said,
Why?"
Well, Henry Alonso Myers, one of the main showrunners, is like, "Oh no, we're going to get to the original series," and it's like, "Hey, we have that. We have 3 seasons of that. We have what will almost be twice as many episodes of the original series compared to the 45, I guess, we're going to get of Strange New Worlds. Here's an idea. Tell us some goddamn Pike era stories and leave the original cast alone." My God, I hate this. Come on, guys. Half the people that are under hostage with the Gorn are, as I said last year, at plot armor or 2 years ago, because, oh my God, Scotty's being held by the Gorn. Gee, I hope he survives.
Mm.
I mean, give me a goddamn break. And again, I don't mean to
mean,
come out of the box firing, but it's like,
Yeah,
come on.
Johnny's angry already, Wayne.
I know. Sorry.
I know.
I know they did it with the Jabrams, and it worked out.
Yeah, but go
It
on.
worked out fine. Yeah, it worked out
Yes.
fine, and everything. But I don't know that I would want a new series. I mean, I'd
thank
want new characters. Give me a new, give me, Starfleet Academy. Give me something else. Like I was even worried about this whole Pike thing and going back before the original series and having this. So, but I like the way it turned out, but I still would rather have something in the future. Give me something that happened between the original series maybe and Next Generation. Give me something that happens after Next Generation. Don't give me Discovery. I don't want Discovery.
Well, I think we were all hoping that's what Section 31 movie was going to be, because Rachel Garrett was in it. So it is in that period between TOS and Next Generation. And we got 90 minutes of crap, unfortunately. So, what are you going to do? But also, okay, now again, so we know this is coming up in about 5 weeks. We got season 3. They've already made season 4. It's in post-production, so it will likely follow, I would assume, at some point next year. And they're going to make season 5. I think, what do you think the odds are, or do it in a 100 ratio, like 50-50, 70-30, whatever, that they retcon and find a loophole so it doesn't have to end with Pike, knowing his fate and he's going to avoid it and everything's going to be okay because, something. I say 60-40 that they're going to erase Pike being in the wheelchair.
Yeah, I think I'm there with you. I think what would be ballsier and more fun is if they diverge the timeline and it's a completely different. But they won't.
No, they won't. They won't, Franco, because they beat their chest all the time. That no, this is the prime timeline, and it's like you guys keep messing with this crap.
Mm-hmm.
Well, just like how J.J. Abrams had a chance to really take his version of Star Trek to a whole different area, and the second movie was Wrath of Khan. So it's just like,
do you think that? I think that was more studio driven, because
well,
I mean, because Khan was such a popular villain and such a good movie that they're like, oh, let's do this again, and they probably just rammed it down his throat. So,
well, although it really,
he did do Lost, so that like.
Go ahead, Wayne. What were you going to say? I can hang on.
No. It's just no. Go ahead, John.
Okay. Well, my point was going to be that I when you say, Franco, it's a studio decision, they basically gave Star Trek 2 Bad Robot, JJ's production company, to run, much as they've given Secret Hideout and Kurtzman that same thing. And Paramount's just like, yeah, do what you want. All right, whatever. And so, but no, I agree with you. They did play it safe. And also within that Bad Robot group of writers, Robert Orci was really the only real Star Trek fan among Kurtzman, Orci, and JJ. So, I don't know. I don't know.
But that first movie, the first J.J. Abrams movie, worked really well for me. I know people were annoyed with it, but I thought it gave us a different version of them, right? But it it had the soul of each character. It had the soul of Kirk. It had the soul, even though they were different and acted different, and it had the soul of each one of those. And I didn't mind the action adventure. It made for a really good movie. It's one of my favorite movies. I'd watch it over and over again whenever it's on because it's just, good pacing, good story. And then the second and the third one were like, what is this? Like it's nothing of what you set out to do with any of the characters in the first one.
Agreed.
And it just it they didn't hold up as well for me.
No,
Yeah,
I'm with
because
you.
Star Trek Beyond was just basically Fast and Furious.
Yeah.
Especially putting the Beastie Boys and the motorcycle in there and everything.
Yeah.
Well, they had
Yeah.
the Beastie Boys in the first movie when he stole his stepfather's car.
Right.
That was the same
Oh,
song, Sabotage.
I totally forgot about that. That's
Oh yeah,
so
no, it
hilarious.
was Sabotage. It was playing Sabotage when the car went over the cliff. But yeah, no, it's
I get that. I was okay with that, but
yeah, no, I was
yeah.
okay with that. Yeah, I
No.
thought, like I said, the first movie was amazing because what it was able to do was to bring new blood to the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can tell any story you want. And I think what bummed me out was that they went to Con.
Mm-hmm.
But my nephew loved it. He thought it was a great movie. And I just said,
How
I've seen this.
how
I wanted them to tell brand new stories.
had your nephew seen the old stuff?
Not as much. No, I don't think so.
Well, there
And
you
if
go.
he did,
I
he
mean,
didn't
that's
remember.
yeah. So
that
you know.
phenomenon happens with the Star Wars stuff. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
whole generation that watched the first Phantom Menace and those first three that were like, ugh, what are you doing here? And then, but there's a whole generation that are like that love Hayden Christensen. Not that I hate Hayden Christensen, but love those movies and love Hayden and everything, and that's their Star Wars. So I don't know. I don't know that we should be talking about this anymore now because I bummed myself out.
Well, I remember what Artie used to say, Balthazar, about Gordy playing with Darth Vader and Luke, I want to say, and he would refer to Vader as Anakin.
Yep.
Because again, Gordy saw the prequels first. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I get it. I mean, it is weird. Couple comments from the chat, and even addressing some of this stuff. Where the hell was it? Didn't Carrie have the thing about? There it is. As Carrie points out, a possibility of keeping Pike from his fate. Q could change reality that way, couldn't he? Sure, he could, or they. I don't know if Q is a binary, a non-binary character or not. By the way, I really, really, really hope, as much as I love Rhys Davies, and I do love Rhys Davies. I loved him in the X-Files reboot. I love him in Flight of the Conchords. I have no problem if he is AQ. He better not be Trelane. He really better not be Trelane. Because again, these people, I mean, the sad thing is, as you guys know, both Voyager and Next Generation had other Q in it. No. So I don't mind if Pike's Enterprise encounters a Q being. And I love that a subject I want to talk about later, Peter David, in his Q Squared book, basically said, hey, Trelane's a Q. And it's like, yeah, that makes sense. Sure. Why not? I'm sure that was in Roddenberry's mind when he, and I don't know if it was him or DC Fontana that came up with that part of Encounter at Farpoint. But I think it was Roddenberry. And clearly, he likes to steal from himself. So why not? As far as Q being in the pilot for Next Gen and everything.
Yeah. What would be a real big cop out is if they have something like that happen and then they're very adamant about, no, this is still the same timeline. Now it's just changed. And my argument for that would be, then it's not the same timeline. and if you changed it, then like everything that you've done in the past, you've just wiped out. You've wiped out Discovery. You've wiped out Strange New Worlds. You've wiped out the originals. You've wiped everything out if you change this now. So
I hear you. The Gorn, for that matter. And I don't remember seeing them, but I really have to kind of scan around the picture. But someone was saying in Star Trek 4, maybe in that scene at the end after they fix the timeline and they go back to their time, and you see all those delegates from the Federation, or maybe it was Star Trek 6. but someone is like, no, the Gorn eventually joins the Federation within the years of the original cast movies. And it's like, I'm very interested to see how this second part, that will be the first episode back for Strange New Worlds, addresses this. And maybe we've only seen Gorn babies, and we'll see adult Gorn that are more sentient than I don't even know, xenomorphs or whatever.
So your argument is the Gorn that took on Kirk on that planet was an adolescent one, or
no, an adult Gorn, but the ones from Strange New Worlds are all like kind of creature babies and stuff like that. We really haven't seen an adult Gorn.
That's exactly my point. Is like which Gorn is it? Like,
yeah.
and what, the one that was on the original series. Like, I get that you changed the Klingons from series to series and movie to movie. I get that.
Yeah.
But they're still the same Klingons. When it was Next Generation, Worf would say, "Yeah, we don't talk about that period."
Which was funny.
Yeah,
that was funny.
So, but acknowledge it or bring it into the continuity. This they just seem to like willy dilly it. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't know. More comments from the chat. Mike Jones says, when the USS Vengeance appears in Star Trek Into Darkness, yet another mega powerful starship in the third consecutive Trek movie, I sighed. Wasted the potential of the first reboot movie. And let's see, Rudy says Gorn torpedoes.
Gorn tadpoles, he said.
Oh, tadpoles, excuse me. God, short eyeballs. Yes, to Gorn. Yeah, honestly, Rudy, that's what I was thinking, was maybe that's what we were seeing. And because again, I guess they could be feral or whatever. But I mean, and like you said, Franco, I agree. Like, okay, fine. In the 60s, they were rubber suits. They looked silly. I get that. That's fine. So you can eat much like the Klingons. All right, you tweak it a little bit. That's all.
Right.
But I don't know. Very weird. Very, very weird. I actually liked. Here, I'll say something positive about Discovery. I liked the way they. I know, shocking. Believe me. I liked the way they kind of switched around the Breen, and kind of updated the Breen a bit, and also we got to see what they look like underneath the helmets or those breathing apparatus and stuff. So I mean, that's the thing. It's like, no, you can. There are ways, and again, I'm hoping that Rhys Davies, like I said, is AQ, not Trelane, but AQ, because, and I mean, it's, I mean, again, La'an, and I know Wayno loves Christina Chong, and I don't blame him, but it's like, I'm sorry. Hey, how you doing? Noonien Singh. Hey, my name's Noonien Singh. I don't know if you knew that about me. My name's Noonien Singh. And then, 15 years later, they're going to run into, Montalban and everything. It's like, I don't buy it. I'm sorry. I just think, again, it's like, admit it. And also, God, guys, whenever this does whenever our long misery finally ends and some other producers are in charge of Star Trek, I really hope this whole period is like, okay, yeah, something to keep things simple. We don't have to get rid of it. It was an alternate. They'll finally say it's an alternate universe. Okay.
Would it be cool if, hear me out. Okay. Hear me out. We open up on a new Star Trek series, right? And you started on someone's quarters, because this is what I would do if I was in charge of Star Trek after this. And you zoom in on someone waking up, and like, the alarm goes off and they wake up and it's Patrick Duffy, right?
I knew that.
And he wakes up, the man from Dallas. He wakes up and he's in a holosuite, and he just imagined the whole thing, and then we just start all over. That's what I would do.
I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. Oh my God!
I like that half the audience out there is going, "Who's Patrick Duffy?" But go ahead.
Probably.
Yeah. According to Memory Alpha,
yes,
they never really joined the Federation.
Oh, okay. Oh, so maybe someone.
So it could have been another reptilian type creature.
That's true. That's possible. That's funny. Carrie said about your theory, Franco, kind of a reverse Bob Newhart. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Emily,
you go.
Have you seen that blooper where they're doing the Newhart show, the New England Inn, and he calls his wife Emily instead of whatever her name is? She's like, Emily. Who the hell's Emily?
Right. You know that she died, I think, of cancer or brain cancer.
Which one?
The
Suzanne Plachette?
No. The
Newhart wife.
The Newhart wife from the Inn. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I was shocked to learn that, because I'm like, I was thinking about her one day, and I'm like, I don't see her in anything. I wonder what happened. I think she died. She had cancer or something like that.
I don't know.
And
Rudy
I'm like,
said.
well,
Rudy says your theory, Franco, as long as it's not like the Enterprise finale.
true.
You know,
True.
I don't hate I mean, I get it, and certainly at the time, I'm like, okay, and man, Gates or not Gates McFadden, help me, Wayne.
Marina Sirtis.
No. Lita from Deep Space Nine.
Oh, Chase
Oh,
Masterson.
Chase Masterson had an online internet show, not a podcast, an online internet show, and she had Brandon Braga on after These Are the Voyages aired, and she would take faxes and read emails and stuff.
Texas.
And man, it was not pleasant. I really felt bad for Brandon Braga because everyone's like, man, what a disservice to that Enterprise cast. It's your final episode. And again, I understood I accepted his explanation where he's like, hey, you know, for like 17 years, we were doing trek after season after season. Yeah, I'm saying, yeah, years, not the, because obviously it was more than that because several shows were running at the same time. But he's like, yeah, we were just saying goodbye to the franchise. He goes, you know, it wasn't meant as a diss. That second to last episode, that was the last real Enterprise episode. And it's like, yeah. And I know the cast wasn't happy about it. They've been like vocal about it and everything. But man, what are you gonna do?
But you know, again, like, yeah, they were doing trek after trek, but man, Deep Space Nine is some of my favorite trek. And why couldn't you do that now? Okay, you don't have to do something that expensive, but all new characters in a place setting. Some of the other characters Worf came in at halfway through. Why can't you do something like that? That was just so good. I like that so much.
Did you guys like Deep Space Nine right off the bat? Because I watched it and I wanted to like it, but I have to admit, because there was just so much setup because you had to understand how Bajor worked, how their religion and how it affected government worked, and introducing these characters and giving us episodes that fleshed out the new people and stuff. So I mean, I liked it enough. But it grew on me.
That's with any series, though, right?
Sure,
I mean, you have to set up these things, and yeah, it took a little bit, but it's some of my favorite Star Trek.
And you were a fan?
I loved it from the start because I just loved the political intrigue.
Me too, man.
From the start, and then the whole thing with Garrick. Garrick stole the series.
Oh, I am absolutely with you. But it's funny, while we're talking about Deep Space Nine, we should acknowledge the passing of Harris Yulin, who was that great Cardassian from, I'm pretty sure it was the first season. If not, it was the second season, where he claims to be the Cardassian war criminal and that ordered a bunch of Bajoran deaths. And, you know, and then it turns out, the hell was that?
The ghost of a Cardassian.
Okay, I would respectfully ask if anyone was making that noise to try not to do that during the show. But I mean, that's not my microphone. I don't. It would sound like it came from one of us. So.
I didn't hear a thing actually.
No, I heard.
Yeah, all right, good. All right. At least I'm not going crazy.
No,
but anyway,
hear a thing. Okay,
no problem. All right, shit happens. But anyway, no. Harris Yulin was this guy who worked at like one of the death camps on Bajor, and claimed to be like the butcher of that incident or whatever, and something that obviously the Bajorans really
I remember that. Yeah.
You know, and Kira, great like one-on-one like interrogations from Kira to this guy. There it is again. And is that you breathing, Francis? Okay, very weird. I don't know. Honestly, nothing. I'm not touching anything. But anyway,
Okay.
Is anything else open? Maybe there's something open on my. No, nothing open on my end. Ain't nothing wrong with my yang. Anyway, but yeah, it turns out he's just a file clerk at the camp, and he feels so guilty that he wants people to think he is this guy to really like get past the hate and like, come on, we need, you know, really powerful performance from Yulin. And in fact, in my interview with Nana Visitor, she really, I brought it up, but she really went on about it. What a great performance he gave. So yeah, that sucks. And he's one of those guys, if you don't remember what he really looks like, there's pictures all over the place, and was wonderful in so many other great TV shows as well. Here, Rudy agrees. He says Duet was one of the best Trek episodes of all time. Yeah, it really was. So yeah, rest in peace, sir. Good life, you know, like late 80s. So that's cool. Oh, you might have a picture, Wayno?
No, I'm just going to check.
What season was that? Do you remember?
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was season 1.
Yeah. So I mean, come on. I mean, yeah, it took you had backstory and setup, but that was in season 1. That's good Trek.
I also brought up I made a short of me and Not Talking, and that episode where Kai Wynn, well, when she's still Vedic Wynn before she becomes the Kai, and she objects to Keiko's school because she doesn't. It's basically the creation versus evolution in the schools argument, and I thought that was and that was the last episode of the first season, and it's like, no, that's a strong episode, man. So yeah, no, they. Again, I agree with you, Francis. Deep Space Nine really had it going on.
I don't know if any of the new Trek shows have anything like that. The other one that comes to mind is in Next Generation when Geordi, he's having trouble coming up with something or saving the ship, and he creates that AI of the person who made the ship, right?
Leah Brahms,
And then they have another episode later on where he meets the actual person, and then she like freaks out because like you created this thing, right? I mean, that's the whole AI thing right now. I don't know that we've had any episodes like that in the current Trek stuff, right?
No, I agree. I was trying to think of the 2 seasons, guys, of Strange New Worlds. The one episode, well, 2 from ironically last season, where it really got me angry. But the 2, the crossover with Lower Decks was excellent.
Yes,
I mean, it was funny, but it made sense from a story standpoint, and it was poignant. And so no, I really liked that.
Hey, Wayne, you shifted your camera, Wayne.
Yeah, I know. I was going to say,
sorry.
That's all right. There's Wayne's gut. So at least you didn't Jeffrey Tubin us like CNN.
No,
hey now, but also, I honestly think the best episode that I would dare I say it. There is one episode I think of the new Trek stuff that I would put up alongside the best stuff of the other decades, and that was that episode from last year where M'Benga and Nurse Chapel are having the PTSD or post stress disorder syndrome. PTSD. About the Klingon battle that they were at when they were at the MASH unit for Starfleet, and that guy, the Klingon ambassador, that was the butcher of that event. And is he being sincere or not? Ortegas doesn't think so. That was a great Star Trek episode. Mm-hmm. And even the ambiguity of the way it ended, where we believe that M'Benga actually did kill the guy, but we don't know for sure.
Right.
And will they go back to it or not? My bet is no. And I think
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I got my problems with some of this stuff when it comes to that stuff. And again, I hope I'm wrong. I also really worry about that last season. Well, not worry, but there is a contemptuous part on my part of I bet those last 5 episodes of that final season of Strange New Worlds is going to be a nice long transition. I bet we even see McCoy joining the ship and everything. I mean, that's the thing, man. They cannot help themselves. Yeah. They cannot help themselves. So I don't know. Peter David's passing, guys. Any thoughts?
Sad to see anybody.
Sure.
So, but yeah.
Fantastic writer. It's just unbelievable. The different runs that he did, if it was Aquaman, Star Trek, The Incredible Hulk, X Factor, anything he touched, it was. We talk about in the past, the writers who wrote long series. He was one of the ones originally that wrote long runs of comic book series and just books, and could tackle any subject matter, any character he can just bring to life. The Hulk was an amazing run with Bruce having, again, PTSD, having a split personality disorder, and how he brought that up where he got into Joe Fixit.
Yep. And
all the different personalities of the Hulk. And then you go into X Factor, where he took a character like Strong Guy, of all things, and made that an interesting person. And then his Star Trek run, whatever whether or not it's the novelizations or the comic book series. He knew his stuff.
Well, even a further step that Pocketbooks had enough faith in him to greenlight New Frontier, which, he created a brand new captain,
That was
Mackenzie Calhoun.
all him. Yeah, right.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Well, he did pepper the crew with like Robin Leffler, Ashley Judd's character from Next Generation, and Dr. Salar, who was the Vulcan. Susie Plaxton played her, who also played Kalar, of course, Worf's chick. And Captain Jellicoe, Ronnie Cox, became Admiral Jellicoe and was a big thorn in Captain Calhoun's side. But yeah, man, God, they went full out, and not only the books that series lasted like 17 years, but toys. Like they made a Mackenzie Calhoun action figure, and they made the ship, they made the Excalibur and everything, and it's like, man, they really, they really.
I mean, I don't know if it's appropriate to bring it up, but I'm going to. Why not?
Go.
He wasn't doing well in the last few months. We all saw the stuff that was coming up, and they were even doing a fundraiser for him.
Yeah.
Did he not get any money from these toys or these creations or anything that he did? I know comics works in a weird way, but the Paramount stuff with toys and stuff like that, he got nothing from any of this stuff.
I'm betting no. Robert Greenberger was on with me, and because he was Peter's editor on a good chunk of his Star Trek comic book run, and I didn't think to ask him that, Francis. That's a really good question. I don't know. My guess is probably no, just because it's work for hire. But no, he, like Wayne said when he rattled off all the different properties that David worked on, and we're not even talking about his own stuff as well. He really, if he didn't love it and was already a fan, he certainly did the research, because whether he wrote in the Buffyverse or these other, and of course all the DC and Marvel stuff he did, Star Trek, all these things, he is one of the better adapted novelists. I wouldn't even call him novelization. Obviously, usually means, here's a novel version of the movie or the TV show or whatever, but directly from the plot. And no, he was great at that. Mike Jones, interesting comment about Peter. He says, just been rereading The Siege, the second DS9 novel ever, and Odo-centric, such great writing. There you go, man. Yeah, they again, he really, Q Squared is probably my favorite Peter David novel, and that was a parallel Earth.
Imzadi was his as well, right?
A lot of people love Imzadi, and I totally get it, because it really gives you the full backstory on the Riker-Deanna relationship. And yeah, no, it's a really.
I remember watching the series, and they talked about Imzadi, but they never really explained it or whatever. And then when I read that book, I'm like, oh wow, that's so cool! Like all the backstory to that stuff, and them. That was awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, and even Santa Troy isn't like annoying in that story and everything. I love saying her name.
And I think it's What Savage Beast, which was the Hulk story about the Maestro.
Oh yes. Oh, I thought it was Future Imperfect, but maybe you're right.
No, Future Imperfect is the comic, but then there's also a novelization that gave more into the backstory of the Maestro and everything.
That's cool. That's really cool. God, we haven't even mentioned his Spider-Man stuff. I mean, my God,
2099, isn't it?
You're right. I forgot about that. I was just thinking of Peter, but no, you're absolutely right. He created Miguel O'Hara. He absolutely did.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because of all the 2099, the original 2099, the two series I loved the most was Doom and Spider-Man. I thought those two were head and shoulders above all the other series.
Him and Rick Leonardi, right? Did Spider-Man 29?
There you go.
That's what I'm talking about. Like the movie was just recent. The Spider-Verse movie, and nothing, right? He didn't get anything from that, or I don't know. I can't speak of it.
Well,
but
and also wasn't one of the Disney XD shows had a Miguel O'Hara crossover, I believe, as well. Pretty sure.
No,
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. Again, some of that. By the way, we talked briefly about it when it was running. Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man was excellent. I thought it was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
It really, that was a great series and everything. And by the way, Wayno, my favorite 2099 thing, and I think it was probably the least popular, but I liked the Fantastic Four stuck in the 2099 era, and that they were kind of like year one FF, just kind of dealing with,
Okay.
all right, where the hell are we and how the hell do we get here and everything. So yeah, James says you're right. Alternate Spider-Man comic books always sell well. That's true. And Mike says always felt Peter David's coming out party was the death of Gene DeWolf. Absolutely, the story that definitely made a mark on him back in the day. I agree.
Yep.
Yeah, whenever Peter takes the safety off, that's when it gets really, really interesting. I was talking, not to name drop, but I was talking today with John Romita Jr. earlier, and we were talking about JMS's Spider-Man run. And I always say this, one of the strongest. I mean, certainly the stuff he was doing with Johnny was great. And that was the 9/11 issue and that heartbreaking, touching issue for Spider-Man 500 where Doctor Strange gives Peter the gift and it's Uncle Ben. And he can have a current conversation with Uncle Ben. And, he's like, oh, Peter, I'm so proud of you. Look at what you've done. And it's like, oh, man, that's beautiful, man. But to me, when Spider-Man loses control, it's during Civil War. When Peter goes to the cell block and as Peter, because his identity's out there, and the Kingpin put a hit out on Mary Jane and Aunt May. And Peter goes to the thing as Peter, and he's like, you beats the fuck out of him and is holding him, his bloody body, and it's like, you come after my family, this is what's going to happen to you. And it's like,
was that Peter David? I didn't realize that.
No, that was JMS. I was saying, JMS. And forgive me. No, Peter wrote good stuff. But I'm comparing when Spider-Man loses control. Yeah. So, no, and Peter was doing brand new. Peter was doing one of the Brand New Day story arc. He was part of that rotating group with Bob.
Didn't he do Aquaman with the one hand? He did.
Yes,
that,
he
right?
did. Yes, he did. Yep. Yeah. No, good stuff. Good stuff. So yeah, what else can we say? Strange New Worlds, real fast. Another thing. Yeah. I guess there's. Oh, by the way, and I so understand because I agree with everyone who had an issue with it. In the trailer, literally one of the first things that the title card says new romances, and it's like, this is Star Trek. Would you please? I don't mind romance in the show, but really, that's what you're selling? It's like, who are you writing this for? And again, based on Section 31, it's like that's why I really wish we could be flies on the wall and hear the Skydance guys telling Kurtzman, you obviously don't like the Star Trek formula because you keep deviating from it. And Star Trek, the old fans are dying out. BS. Wayno, I wish you could do a head count. You're going this summer to Vegas again, aren't you?
Yes.
Well, I hope so.
I am. Oh, just sort of sidetrack back. Sure. Another with the Gene DeWolf.
Yeah.
With the Sin Eater storyline in Spectacular Spider-Man.
Sure.
It was just wow.
And also, like you were saying too about the Maestro novel that he wrote some great Spider-Man novels and short stories as well.
Yep.
He's brilliant.
I think they said there's 128 people showing up so far.
For which, buddy?
Star Trek Vegas. Of which it's a Captain Proton reunion.
Let's put up that image. Indeed. Oh no, that's the other image. Whoops, sorry. This is a different image. We'll talk about it in a moment or later. Here we go, Captain Proton, ladies and gentlemen.
So they're doing a Captain Proton reunion.
Demonica. That's great.
Chaotica. I don't know Demonica. Oh no, Demonica's her name. The girls. Yeah, the twins.
Yeah, the two twins.
Yeah, well, the Delaney sisters. What were they called? I can't remember.
They're also the Delaney sisters.
Yeah. Because they play the game with Paris and Harry. Absolutely hilarious. Yeah. That's great. No, I'm excited. God, I never saw a Chaotica without his makeup. That's hilarious.
Well, it was essentially Ming.
Well, sure. Yeah, I know, but I just and he was wearing eye makeup and everything, and really. They were minging him up as much as they could without getting inappropriate by today's standards. So Mario agrees with you, Wayne. He loves the Sin Eater storyline as well. Very cool. But yeah, I was going to say new romances. They're teasing in the trailer. I think that Uhura is going to start dating Ortegas's brother. Why? Don't know. Do we need that? Don't know. Can you give Uhura something to do on the ship? Maybe. And they have actually. They've serviced her well. I think. I'd like to see more Ortegas beyond I'm the pilot of the ship. I mean, that's the thing. This is Jesus. I'm going to put up the picture again. It's a big goddamn cast to only be able to do 10 episodes a year, man.
Yeah.
That's a really big cast.
Oh, and don't forget, Scotty's now involved.
I know. It's
Mhm.
ridiculous. So yeah, I don't know, man. And also, my problems with last season, with the musical and some of the goofier episodes, it's like, okay, well, we know we're getting the holodeck murder mystery. So that's one goofy episode. I would imagine Trelane or Q, whoever Rhys Davies is playing, is not going to be a by the book Trek. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I am. There's also, and again, I don't know if it's this one of those is the same episodes or not, where all the tech fails. And they're at one of the earlier trailers, you see them using literally like telephones, like antique kind of telephones and stuff. Did you guys see that trailer as well?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember seeing
That
that.
one I
Yeah.
saw.
Yeah. So I don't, and also they even, and again, they could have, if anyone is potentially going to pass away, unless it's a flashback scene, the captain's girlfriend, who's the other captain, and I can't remember her character's last name. They have that picture. They had a quick shot of her and Pike kind of canoodling, kind of embracing or whatever. And I like that actress. By the way, she's in the new Revival TV show that is based on Tim Seeley and
Oh,
Mike
I gotta
Ward.
watch that. First episode was last night, right?
Yes,
Or
it was, and it's very good. It's
Yeah.
very, very good. I'll be talking to the showrunner on Word
we
Balloon.
should give Mike Norton a shout out. He's got his Battle Pug Kickstarter running right now too. So I think he's halfway there. Help him cross the threshold on that.
Absolutely. He talked about that in my interview with Mike about Revival and Battle Pug and the like. So no, that's cool. But yeah, and yeah, James, don't worry. I'm going to get to the All Vulcan episode. That's another goofy episode, certainly, that we can count on. So again, you've got 10 episodes, and you're wasting your time with potentially 3 BS episodes, if not 4. And again, is it asking too much to have more Star Trek in my Star Trek, please? I don't know. That All Vulcan thing, man, and especially for them to come out the gate with that tease of that scene. I don't know. I hate. I mean, especially given the amount of information that we've gotten over the years about the physiology of Vulcans compared to humans, or it's like 2 hearts in Doctor Who. The Time Lords have 2 hearts and stuff like that. It's like you can't drink a potion or get an injection and become a Vulcan. But apparently, in this version of Star Trek, oh yeah, sure you can. Why not? So good Lord. James wants to know. He wonders if that captain to captain relationship, Pike and Melanie from Winona Earp and Revival, if that relationship was inspired by New Frontiers Captains in Love. Yeah, Shelby and Calhoun. Elizabeth Shelby is his first officer and eventually becomes a captain. And they were together. So.
Hey, if you want to play guess which episode Q's in, I just popped up the episode names.
Oh yeah, here, Wino, you got the list? Hang
Yeah.
on. Let's put it up. Boom. Oh my God, I can't read that. Can you read that, Wino?
Yeah. Can read it off my iPad.
So the first episode, by the way, obviously if people don't know, we're getting the first 2 episodes dropped on the first week. So we got that going for us.
Wait, episode 1 is
Hegemony Part 2.
Hegemony Part 2.
Yeah,
right.
Hegemony Part 2.
That finishes the Gorn story.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Wedding Bell Blues.
All right away. Wedding Bell Blues. Well, clearly that's going to be a very serious, very Star Trek episode. No question. Wedding Bell Blues.
Shuttle to Kinfori.
Okay, that could be a real Star Trek episode, but this is my finger saying one dumb episode, but keep going.
A Space Adventure Hour.
I believe that might be. Well, I don't know, but I don't know. But again, that sounds more.
I'm sure that's the murder mystery.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. So that's 2. Go ahead.
Through the Lens of Time.
Ooh, ominous. Yeah.
I don't know what that means, but all right.
The Shellat Who Ate Its Tail.
The Salot. That's the
Salot, sorry.
That's
Salot,
the
who ate-
Ichaya, the Vulcan Salot, the giant teddy bear with fangs that Spock had as a child.
What is Starfleet?
Okay.
4.5 Vulcans.
That's probably
Yeah,
the whole
no,
thing.
we know what that one is. So there's 3 already that we know are going to be goofy.
Terranium,
I don't know what that is, but we'll find out.
New Life, and New Civilizations.
Ooh.
Right, that's the last one. All right, yeah. Again, well, we'll see.
That's them like leading into the original series in the last 6 episodes.
No, there's I know it's
There's another
you're right.
season.
Yeah, so there's 16
Oh,
after
that's right.
this
Yeah,
season.
there's another season. Yeah.
Yeah, there's 4. There's the season 4 and season 5. Yeah, you're right, Francis. So thank you for correcting me. Yeah, so 6 episodes for the last season. But again, I'm sure they'll burn off a couple with a couple goofy ideas. Why don't we do interpretive dance? That would be a good Star Trek episode.
I would
Here's
watch
a
that.
thought. If it's only 6 episodes, do you think they might just double up on the time on a couple of them
I hope so.
and make them
Oh,
extended?
I hope so.
Yeah, I don't know. Star Trek's never really been known to do that, so that'd be cool. I'd do movies if they were movie length or something like that
Sure.
to tell
Hey.
more expansive stories. But
As I always say, I know Franco hated the show, but I love that the Orville really got indulgent in its most recent season, and we had like hour 10 long episodes instead of like 70-minute episodes. So, because I listen again, and now we're gonna get new ownership. My worry of the failure of Section 31 was, well, I guess they don't want made for TV movies of Star Trek. No, we want good made for TV Star Trek movies. That wasn't a start. Now, and guys, you were much more positive than I was about Section 31. Have you rewatched it? Would you rewatch it?
no, I don't even have time to watch
No.
first run stuff. Yeah. I just literally finished Doctor Who like the other day, so
I understand. We want to talk about Doctor Who. Have we beaten the Star Trek horse to death? I'm trying to think of any other news.
we may have.
We
usually do.
July 25th is the new season.
Okay, yeah. So we're about 5 weeks or 6
During
weeks away.
San Diego.
I was going to say San Diego Comic-Con, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and that's when Fantastic Four.
Fantastic Four. I already got tickets. We already got tickets to go see it.
Oh,
in San
so do
Diego.
I. I have tickets to Fantastic Four and to Superman. I pre-bought.
Yeah, I got tickets to Superman too.
Wow. Are you guys going first weekend then?
Yeah, I'm going on Thursday. Prime
Wow.
members, you can see it. You can see it on Tuesday.
Yes, I've
before.
seen their previews. Yeah.
And I went to go buy the tickets, and I'm like, something said, let me check my calendar, and we got tickets to go see Rick Springfield. So,
Ah,
so we're gonna go see Rick Springfield because we want to see him, and I'm like, okay, it's that night.
Are you gonna bring him a dozen roses?
No, I'm not bringing him nothing.
Ah,
Screw that guy.
so
tell me.
at Springsteen, not Springsteen,
Springfield.
Springfield concerts, women or guys, doesn't matter.
Sure.
I'm not judging.
No.
Will throw flowers onto the stage, and he will play them on his guitar.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, that's great.
That is funny. You
Yeah,
know,
I'm gonna not do that.
Sammy Hagar had that like one season of a show on Access TV, and Rick came on because Rick had the hit with "I've Done Everything for You," written by Sammy Hagar, and I loved it because it was fun hearing them talk about the song. And I'll admit and because I do make fun of a lot of '80s pop hits, but I was a Rick Springfield fan. He was fun, so that's cool. And of course, he was Zach, Lauren Green's Adama's son in the pilot for Galactica.
And General Hospital. He had a long run in General Hospital too.
Dr. Noah Drake. Absolutely. My sister was a big fan. And now that reminds me because he was also on an episode of the Filmation cartoon, The Brady Kids. And I don't know if I sent it. I think I sent it. Maybe I sent it to Art and Scoot and Skoke and Franco and not you, Wayno. I apologize if I didn't. But there's a couple great crossover Brady Kids episodes, the cartoon. One with Wonder Woman, but an even better one with Superman and Lois. And it's it's cheesy, but it's fun for all the wrong reasons. But there's a lot of Clark trying to get away to dress, be Superman. And literally then Cindy, hi, Mr. Kent, what's going on? And it's like, hi, Cindy. uh, and a few inner monologue like, "Gee, how does a guy get away from these kids or whatever so he can change into Superman?" It was fantastic.
Are they available anywhere? Those things?
I don't. Well, they're on YouTube. You can grab them on YouTube and the full episodes, so that's cool. But yeah, it was cracking me up and very. The weird thing is I didn't even realize because I had been so indoctrinated in the George Reeves show, but like Lois is still wearing like 1950s clothes. I mean, she's totally in like a 50s looking suit, not even a Jackie Kennedy of the 60s. It's like, no, that's a 50s suit, Lois. But it's very funny because she is totally like in. Really, Clark, you have to go away. What could oh gee, gosh, Lois, I'm sorry. Very, very funny. Oh, James has a good question. I was wondering this. I have not gotten to it myself, but James wants to know if has anyone watched Murderbot yet?
Oh, I want to. It's on my list.
I love it.
I'll probably
Excellent to hear, Wayne.
I'll probably get to it by the end of 2026.
But John, you know my taste. Like,
No.
I sent you guys a list of the movies I'm watching. So yeah, I thought it's hilarious.
Is it an intentional comedy, Wayno?
Yeah. Oh, it is definitely. And how the Skarsgård, Alexander Skarsgård, it's a robot that hacks its own, like the Asimov's three principles.
Yes.
So he hacks it so he doesn't have to follow them anymore. The principles, they call it a governor protocols or whatever. And his big thing is he loves watching soap operas.
That's what I've heard.
Oh, and it's hilarious. He downloaded season, I think he said season 19 of the soap opera to make room. And he just got rid of all the technical manuals for their spaceship because it wasn't as important.
That's hilarious.
Now I got to watch it. Now I got to write down and watch it. Damn it.
Yeah.
Mike Jones reminding us that Rick Springfield, of course, was indeed the first Christopher Chance, the human target. Absolutely, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he was. That's cool.
I think I have those on Blu-ray.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, no, that's the second series. That's the second one I have.
That's the first season. Second season, the Fox show was good.
Yeah.
Of Human Target. It was really good. Yeah. That guy from Boston Public.
And also, oh, crap. With the alternate Earth.
Oh, the one that Nimoy was
not
on.
Sliders.
Yeah, with the kid from Pacey from Dawson's Creek. Fringe.
Yeah, Fringe. Yeah, because he was, I think, in the first season. He was the boyfriend.
God, I'd have to go back and watch it. Thank you, Mike.
But I think
Mark Valley. Everybody.
Yeah, because he's the human target.
Yes, that I remember. Yeah, no, definitely that actor. Yep. No, that's cool. That's really good. No, good stuff. Again, this is where I'm glad Max has Pennyworth, and I think they have, at least they used to have Human Target. I hope they still do. But I mean, that's the thing. So like some of these DC shows that kind of came and went were still quality shows in the last 10 or 15 years. And I would definitely put Human Target in there, and Jackie Earle Haley in Human Target, the newer one.
Yeah, that's right.
So, but yeah, I'd forgot about Rick Springfield as the Human Target. I was thinking of the Mike Grell
Sable.
Thank you, with Rene Russo.
Yeah, because that was based more on the second series as opposed to the first.
Yep.
Because it was the same type of costume and makeup that they did with Bill Jaska, I think was the artist. But it was like instead of having in Sable, instead of having the battle mask, it was more like these lines going through the face.
Okay.
That was the mat. That was his he didn't have the Grell battle mask.
Okay. I always thought it was war paint more than anything else.
In the second, it was more, but in the first one, it was a mask. It was a battle mask.
Okay. Wow, man. Boy, that's a show I'd love to look up on YouTube and see if there are episodes of it. A lot of those orphan shows, they are there. Oh, there you go. Thank you, Mario. Mario says Human Target is on Tubi, not on Max. Man, I am telling you, Franco and I were talking before we went on the air. I watch so much stuff on Tubi, so much, and I know Wayne does too.
I watch so much stuff that I finally found, and I know there's 3 versions of the public domain of Popeye the Sailor Man, and they're all horror movies. And I saw Popeye's Revenge on Tubi. and I'm waiting for the other two versions to hit. Now, the next big character coming up is Superman, but they've already done Superman.
Right,
Have you
Brightburn.
seen Brightburn is, you don't even
Yeah.
have to go any further.
Yeah.
Brightburn is the perfect horror Superman movie.
Who
You
did
don't even have
wasn't
to.
wasn't Brightburn James Gunn or who was it?
Yeah.
J.J.
I think
Abrams?
it's J.J. Abrams.
Yeah. I know it was one of them, one of those names.
Well, here the chat can confirm for us.
Yep.
But no, I hear you, man. And it's funny, Wayne. I started watching. He said JJ wrote it. Thank you, James.
Yeah.
There you go. I caught the first 5 minutes because I wanted to see of the Popeye Savage movie and stuff. And Franco, it's great. You should really just watch even the first 5 minutes because they explained that he was a deformed baby and that's why he's got those giant forearms. And they show him as like a kid with those giant stupid forearms, those bowling pin forearms of his and everything.
And
Wow.
it's just like the Winnie the Pooh movies where they start off with the animation.
Yes.
So it's this very simple animation to explain the characters. And the same thing with the two Winnie the Pooh movies. The first one's better than the second one, I have to say. I thought, okay.
Well,
but,
actually, there is one more, and I wonder if they'll make a horror movie of it. Next year is the Maltese Falcon hitting the public domain. So are we going to get a there you go, everybody. Yes, it was not. Pardon me. It was not. It was not JJ that wrote Brightburn. It was Gunn who wrote it or produced it, and his two brothers wrote it.
Right. Yeah. See, I thought James Gunn was involved. See, once again, I was correct. See,
you're always correct, sir.
I am pretty 99.9% on target with these things.
Hey, I again. When I have an initial disagreement with you, I usually in the back of my head it goes, he's right. Shut up, dumbass. So, but I don't listen.
I'm glad you have that internal argument.
I can't. It's the truth. I got to tell you, man. There you go. Carrie's leaving us. Well, thanks for joining us, Carrie. That's very nice.
Thanks.
No, because I know a writer that has a Maltese Falcon sequel waiting for the day that it hits public domain, and it's already been turned into the publisher, and that's all they're waiting for. I agree with Peter. Welcome back. Peter Beiser joining us and says, in James Gunn, I trust. Superman looks good. Yeah, guys, I got to tell you, I mean, I wish we weren't getting so many new trailers because I want to be surprised by the movie.
I've stopped watching the trailers, actually.
Yeah. I don't blame you, Francis. Yeah.
And I was, when that first trailer hit, I think I talked about it on the podcast, but I got emotional. I didn't think I would get as emotional as I did, and when he stands up and he was arguing with Lois that people were dying. I'm like, my wife is like, are you crying? I'm like, no, you are. Shut up. But yeah.
No, the trailer that I loved the most was with Crypto, just bouncing on top of him when he's like, nah, stop.
I know. Oh, that was great. I know. And it's funny. I talked to Norton because Mike's drawing a Crypto miniseries for DC with Ryan North writing it. Ryan North, by the way, one of the best current writers out there and can write in any kind of genre, either humor or straight up superhero, as he's proven in both Fantastic Four and Lower Decks. So, and yeah, Mike's like, this is not, there's going to be things again. Sorry, Franco. I think that series might make you cry, the Crypto series, if you read it.
Okay.
So, but no, I mean, come on, guys. Who didn't grow up with Crypto, and it cannot be more excited. And also, I saw the plushie already for Crypto, and also we were all laughing on our private chat with Mitch about the popcorn the popcorn containers, and I know I saw the Galactus one that
that thing's $80.
$80, Jesus.
Well, it's as big as the theater. That's why.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good.
I showed it to my wife. She's like, "You're not getting that, are you?" And I'm like, "No. I'll just borrow it from Mitch whenever I want it."
Was Red? Go ahead. I'm sorry, Frank. I didn't mean to.
I was just Mitch will buy it. I'll just borrow it from him whenever.
Well, I got to ask Mitch then? Was the Red Guardian? Was only like $50 or something, wasn't it? The limo, because I know they had the.
He didn't get the limo. He got the helmet, I think.
Oh, right. Was it Red Guardian's helmet or somebody
Yeah.
else's helmet?
Yeah, because
I know I probably have to go to Cineplex Odeon down the street. Well, it's about 15 minutes from my house to pick up the newsstand Superman popcorn bucket because that's a Canadian exclusive.
Oh,
Nice.
Phoenix.
I saw the crypto dog dish popcorn thing, which I think is cute. James
So they
wants to
just-
know, guys, if you have an opinion on what crypto's real life breed should be.
ooh,
I don't
should be
care.
white.
Yeah, exactly. He's a white dog.
He's Kryptonian, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I always appreciated that original Silver Age design, which kind of was like a Dalmatian without spots, essentially.
I get it, but the big uproar when they released that trailer and like, whoa, what's the breed? Who cares? Why are you arguing about this? It's so dumb. He's
Crypto has
Kryptonian,
been
first
so
of
many
all.
different types of dogs through the comics.
Yeah, but he first of all, he's Kryptonian. That's
Right.
the breed right there. Whatever
Yeah.
Kryptonian breed.
He should have one of those giant thought beast screens on his head. You remember those Kryptonian beasts
Yeah.
that would like predict what was going to happen? Oh my God, that thought beast is thinking about eating me.
And speaking, I'm gonna like, since Mitch isn't here. Speaking of exclusives, everybody should go pick up my new exclusive Svengoolie design T-shirt, which went on sale today.
Do we have the image? Hold on, Francis.
I believe so.
Yes, we do. Stand by. There it is. Boom.
I believe so.
So
Yeah, they
I
went
don't
on
know if
sale today. Go to metvmall.com. I think it is.
would
And,
you zoom in on one of the shirts? Because I think we'll get a better
Yeah.
look at the image. There we go. Attaboy. There it is.
There you go.
Yep. No, it looks
That's
great,
great.
dude. I'm thrilled that you were doing this. I didn't know you guys were doing this.
Yeah, no, I didn't know I was doing it till they called me and asked me. But no, they've been great. They've been great to work with, and when they said they wanted to do this, I'll tell you a story eventually. But it came about in a weird way, and they loved it. And I'm always really horrible at naming things, like titles. So I like to write, and I think I'm a pretty good writer, but I'm horrible at titles. So when people are asking me for titles, so I gave them, they're like, give us we need a title for this, and I gave them like a whole bunch of different titles, and then I think they asked Sven, they asked Rich himself, and he came up with "Here's Looking at You," and I'm like, I love that title. So he actually named it. So I'm like, great. And they're like,
That's
are you
great.
sure? I'm like, yeah, well, yeah. Rich is naming it himself. Yes, Rich and Jim. And I'm like, yeah, I'll take it.
Absolutely, man. No, that's great. No, it looks terrific, man. And again, not only t-shirts but mugs as well, everybody.
Yeah, they
So-
and they're sending me a whole bunch of swag, and you can get them in any color. So you can get them in different colors and stuff like that. But yeah,
Excellent.
they have a whole bunch of stuff. They have mugs. Look at the mugs. Come on, look at it. Look at a mug.
Yep.
The black inside. Yeah. So go out and well, look, you can get them in red and yellow too. Look at that. I didn't even know that.
Boy,
Yeah.
oh boy.
Boy. Okay, that's my selfish, shameless plug.
No, I love it, man. That's great. Some people were commenting on the what breed crypto should be. Don Lenza agreed with you, Franco, and said, yeah, it's a Kryptonian dog.
Yeah.
Not an Earth-based dog. Franco is right. And let's see here. Rudy likes the white lab version. I agree. I think, yeah, that looks cool. I also like the white retriever that I've seen occasionally as well. Now, Mario says the 19-year-old me wished Crypto would have been a black-brown dog just to mess with people's heads. And Mike laughed and said, no, that's Ace the Bat Hound, Mark. Yes, that's true. Very true. I should have brought up the screen cap of what you and Artie made for DC Nation of Artie, myself, and Jimmy the Muscle being saved by Crypto in the boat.
Yeah.
Because that has been my favorite thing since the trailer's been dropped, where I'm like, yeah, I know what it's like to be saved by Crypto. That happened to me.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
no, I'm very, very excited. I love the robots. That scene, and it's so funny, of Lois interviewing him, and some people are like, man, she's really being hard on him because he's like, what do you want me to do? Let people die? And it's like, no, she doesn't really feel that way. She's playing
She's a
devil's
reporter.
advocate. Yeah. I
She's
mean,
a
and she'll
reporter.
ask that question because she's a reporter. But sure, of course, she's on Clark's side. Give me a break. You
She's
know?
doing her
Yeah.
job.
Because people were arguing about that online.
Yes.
And I'm like, okay, first of all, okay, she's playing devil's advocate. First of all, but second of all, she's a reporter. She's like the best reporter on the planet. Okay, she's better than Clark. She's the best reporter on the planet. That's exactly what she would do. So
Amen.
give me a break.
I
Come
so
on.
agree. Well, that and of course the know-it-all said
I spit on
Superman doesn't have
my-
robots, and it's like, yeah, actually he
Yeah,
does.
he does.
I
I
don't
got
know,
so
man.
agitated during that I spit on my screen here, my iPad.
Now,
spit in the drawer.
the only nerd pick about the trailer would be whoever the authority person is that's in the fortress with Luthor and has her little buzzsaw hands. If they were truly Kryptonian robots, I don't think any Earth metal would be able to cut through them like she could. But
they may. I'll argue
But-
back. I'll play
Yep.
devil's advocate. Maybe they're not Kryptonian.
that's the
metal.
other thing. They could be
Yeah.
not
He
Kryptonian.
could have built them. Yeah, he could have built them himself.
Sure.
From
Yeah.
Earth
But if
material.
everything came from that one crystal,
Yeah, we don't know. We don't know about
yeah,
this
we
version.
don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I loved when Crypto was at the fortress door and barked, and it opened up and everything. I thought that was, and also just him dragging him through. First of all, running through the snow and making that like kind of snow blinding effect and everything as he's running, but also just as him just grabbing him by the cape and running him back and everything. It's like, yeah, man, that's Crypto. That's fantastic. So
I'm drawing a Superman piece right now. I'll show it to you eventually. Not on the air, not now.
cool,
but eventually.
cool. No, I'm excited. Well, as Rudy said earlier in the chat, Artie's going to be drawing a lot of Crypto sketches this summer, and I'm sure you will too, Francis. And Don says not only is Lois the best reporter on the planet and at the planet. Absolutely, man.
Mm-hmm.
Have you guys had a chance to read Slott's first issue of Superman?
No, I haven't. I haven't read it. Yeah,
it's really, really good. It's it's a great opening book that kind of looks at his whole life and career and where he's at and everything. And then at the end, drops a very interesting scenario that, as Dan told me, is not only going to play in the Superman book, but is going to impact the Earth One DC world as well. So it's a good idea. It's a very interesting idea. I'll leave it at that. But yeah, I'm excited. Other shows and movies, and Wayno, I want to get to your cult movie list that you've bought recently. But before you do, Fubar is back, the Arnold Schwarzenegger show on Netflix. That essentially, if everyone hasn't seen it, that's watching and listening, very True Lies in a great way, where Arnold is a government agent again, but has an interesting front, a different front than Harry and Jamie Lee Curtis back in the day. I like it a lot. I haven't started watching the second season yet, but I love that first season, and I'm really glad it's back. I think much like Tulsa King with Stallone, I'm like, this is a good late career thing for Arnold to do.
Yeah, I watched the half of the first season, and then because I was watching, it was my airplane watch when I was going places, and then I haven't gone anywhere, and I only got halfway through the season. But I will be at Heroes Con next week, so I'll pick it up again probably and watch it.
Say hi to Ramita down there. Ramita's going to be down there, of course, amongst dozens of others.
Everybody's going to be down there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, who am I kidding? Exactly. So that's great that everyone supports Heroes Con as much as they do. That's really cool. That's a nice grassroots show that just got bigger.
You know what else is a grassroots show?
Tell us.
Terrificon.
What dates are those again, my friend?
August 8th through the 10th at Mohegan Sun in Uncasville, Connecticut.
Beautiful Connecticut, absolutely,
I feel
man.
bad because Mitch isn't here, so I got to promote.
No, that's good. No, you're doing good. You're filling the void. That's good. Again, we'll remind everybody that unfortunately Mitch is on assignment in deep space and has crossed the color barrier to black and white world. So we hope he's fine out there in deep space. But yeah, Starfleet Academy still to come. And as you heard, guys. Well, I don't know how much you knew about before we get to Doctor Who. And I hope we still have time to talk Doctor Who.
Yeah.
But they kind of, I guess the way the Kurtzman deal works with Paramount, even with Skydance taking over, is if things are in production, even after Skydance takes over, which is supposedly next summer of 2026, if something's in production, they got to let Kurtzman finish it. So we know that one season of Academy is done, and the likelihood is that they're shooting season 2 now, and it will be in post next year.
So you guys know my feelings on Tilly, but that may change because Becky Lynch is in Starfleet Academy.
Yep.
So
What else was Becky Lynch in? I'm not recognizing the name.
she hasn't been in much. She's a wrestler.
Oh, that's
from,
right.
from
Yes,
WWE.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She's married
No,
to
and-
Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
Hey, Holly Hunter and Jamadi are in Academy.
That's
So
right.
I mean, my fingers are crossed. But again, I'm sorry, I have no trust with these producers and the writers that I'm sure. Yeah, that's great. Keep going. And it's like, no, you're going in the wrong direction. You're going the wrong way. In the words of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. How do they know which way we're going? Yeah, thank you.
You know what I recently learned about Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is that
Tell
the
me.
original cut, I think, was like 3 hours long, or something like that.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. So I was
Wow.
like, whoa, that's crazy.
I heard there was a sadder ending
Yeah.
in some way, and that they got smart after the focus groups. And they're like, yeah, make it. I mean, come on, it's Thanksgiving. Make it a happy ending, for God's sake. But I love that movie. John Hughes, man, that guy, very interesting guy. I wonder if there are some skeletons in that closet, sadly.
There are. Yeah,
you know.
that is absolute viewing every year. Like,
Oh,
it's
I can appreciate that. My God, yeah, absolutely.
every year, no matter what, we watch that movie.
It should be a
in Thanksgiving dinner or afterwards. It's always on. At some
how
point.
many good Thanksgiving movies are there? I respect that, absolutely, man.
There's the Eli Roth version of Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving. Yeah, I love
There's
the trailer.
Oh no, he actually produced the movie.
He did make the movie.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember
he did make the movie.
that. Isn't Dutch with Ed O'Neill? Isn't that a Thanksgiving movie?
Probably, and Ethan Emery.
Ethan
Emery was the bass player in That Thing You Do, and he's on Grayson. He's one of the kids in Grace and Frankie Kids, one of the adult children. Yeah, I like that. No, and Ethan Emery, he was a kid when he made Dutch with Ed O'Neill. So, that's interesting. Mario says he finally watched. Speaking of John Hughes, finally watched The Breakfast Club with his 15-year-old. She liked it, but didn't love it. Yeah, all right.
Well, that's because she's a 15-year-old in 2025. That's why. She was a 15-year-old in 1985. She would have loved the movie.
I don't think she'll like Pretty in Pink.
Pretty in Pink. I saw the Psychedelic Furs, and
Stupid duck.
they opened for UB40. Great double bill in the mid 80s. Let me tell you. One of the best
I
shows
thought you were
this
going to
college.
say recently.
No. I know the Furs are still traveling. They're still out there.
Yeah, the P
So
Furs.
I don't know about UB40, but I definitely know that the Furs are still out there playing, because they were in Chicago in the last year or two at Riot Fest, or one of our big festivals and
Okay,
everything.
now I'm blanking. What was their other song?
Love
Red
My Way.
Yeah.
And President Gas. I'm a big fan of
Oh
the
no,
Furs.
and
Pretty in Pink, Love My Way.
there's a third.
The Ghost in You.
The Ghost in You.
Inside You. Yeah.
Time moves and she don't.
Look for
Gonna get
80s favorites by Wayne and Yoko Chips.
I was going to say, you guys got to stop singing because you'll get kicked off YouTube.
Hey, what are you talking about, Wayne? Wayne and I were karaokeing our. No, Wayne. You came down for that karaoke thing.
I came down. You
But you
guys
didn't
were
sing.
finishing.
Oh, okay.
You guys were finishing
Yeah, I'm sorry you missed
because it was like Wayne showed up. Time to shut up.
It was.
No
it
one
was,
wants to hear you sing, Wayne.
It was.
No one wants to hear me sing.
Comic writer Stephanie Phillips, comic artist Cully Hamner, Wayne, myself. I forget the woman's name, Kat, but I forget her last name. Who worked with some of the support staff of some of the artists.
Cat.
Yeah, Kat. Yeah, but it was funny.
Cat.
Oh, yeah, she doesn't have a last name. She's like Cher.
Um.
Let's say yes.
Crap. Yes, she does have a last name.
Let's say yes. All right, that's fine. No, hey man, like anytime I'm near karaoke, I try to gather a group. Howard Chaykin shot me down. What are you gonna do? That's all right.
No, because Howard just likes to do it on his own.
At his
At his
table.
table.
At his with no band needed. Absolutely a cappella with his hat on, as
I went
Father
out to
Guido
dinner with
Sarducci
Howard
used to say.
Chaykin, and he ordered everybody some burnt lettuce as an appetizer. That's the story.
Nice. Oh man, Francis, I forget if it's who's going to be in New York, but I was telling them you got to take them to Sardi's, like when we went that one year, so they could see all the caricatures and everything and have a real Broadway experience. Oh, Franco, I meant to ask, and maybe I already did privately. But did you see Good Night and Good Luck either on stage or the CNN presentation
I
of it?
didn't. I haven't gone to Broadway in years at this point.
Really?
Yeah, since the pandemic, we haven't really gone. Just
Wow.
wanted to. Like, I want to see Death Becomes Her, and I wanted to see a couple other things, but we just, just hasn't happened. But I saw that it was on CNN, that they were going to show it on CNN live, and I'm like, oh, I got to watch it, and then forgot about it.
Ah,
So, yeah,
I saw it. It was great.
it was good, right? Yeah,
Well, I mean, listen, guys, I've been an Edward R. Murrow fan.
right.
You'll forgive me, everybody, because I know journalism does not have the high reputation it had during the Cronkite years when we were growing up. But Edward R. Murrow was really a hero of mine, especially given during World War II, he was on the front lines. He was out in bombers flying out of Britain against the wishes of CBS because he's like, I got to know what these guys are doing because I got to, if I'm covering them from, start to finish. And, and was not afraid and was really this like steely eyed newsman and everything.
Okay, he probably was afraid, but he had the balls to do it, though.
Had the balls to do it, man. There's it's on HBO, rather, it's on YouTube. Back in the mid 80s, HBO made a Murrow movie that Daniel J. Travanti, Captain Furillo from Hill Street Blues, played Murrow. And that's really good. And then in 2005, the Clooney movie, Good Night and Good Luck, came out.
Right.
And in that, he played the producer, Fred Friendly. This was good. The CNN thing was really, really good.
I think it's streaming on Max, isn't it? Maybe.
I keep looking for it, Franco. If it's there, I haven't been able to find it.
Okay.
And I almost wondered, because obviously I think he's still selling Broadway tickets, if it was like a one-time thing. So,
yeah, because I know that they said that it was streaming on Max, but I don't know if it was they were going to continue it afterwards or not. So, yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know this. Rudy says we can see Tom Felton playing Malfoy again in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child on Broadway. Yeah, and that was my friend Crystal Skillman, the great wife of Fred Van Lente, but in her own right, a fantastic, accomplished off-Broadway playwright. We were talking about the Tonys and what's up and everything. And yeah, Franco, is it me or are there a lot more reboots than there are of like things like Death Becomes Her and and also revivals as opposed to new original stuff? I know there's some new original stuff.
There are, but
GFC, of course,
Broadway
reboot.
is a weird thing because they have the Strange New Worlds thing on Broadway,
or Stranger Things.
Sorry.
No worries.
Yeah, Stranger Things. But it takes place before any of the kid stuff happens, so in a way, it's kind of like a prequel, but not.
Sure.
It's associated with Stranger Things, but all brand new. So yeah, there's things like that, and yeah, Death Becomes Her. I wanted to see because I want to see how they handled that, but yeah, not we just haven't gotten down there.
No, I understand. All right, Doctor Who. We've been putting it off. The Ncuti Gatwa era is over, and I'm sorry. Honestly, I am. I mean, there are episodes of the second season that I liked better than the first season, but it's disappointing because again, I think he was underserved in the writing. And in fact, there's even a quote from him before this, I think the first season was airing and when they were still making the second season, where he said, well, I better face a Dalek before my time is over. Well, he never faced a Dalek.
Yeah.
And I understand. And listen, I don't blame him for leaving because things were so up in the air. They had made season 2 a couple years ago. And Disney was kind of waiting to see what ratings were like in terms of whether they were going to make a third season. And Gat was like, I can't wait that long. And I don't blame him. He's a hot actor. He has been ever since he was a kid. And great, good for you, man. Go on with your career. Go to Hollywood and make great movies and stuff. But man, again, these short streaming seasons, we got 20. And if you include the Giggle, the last Tenet special where he bi-generated, so 21 Doctor episodes. That's it.
22.
22. Okay. Oh, that's right. The Christmas special. You're right. So, yeah, I don't know. I got to be honest, guys. And we'll get to the final moment and everything. I liked the last episode. Fine. And there were a couple episodes this season I thought were good enough and everything. Yeah. But I don't know.
The last episode to me just seemed like they just tried to cram everything in, so it didn't hit as well for me. I think.
Yeah. The whole tease of Omega, depending on who's saying it. I'm really pissed and disappointed. And also, I didn't see the need to bi-generate the Ronnie. I had no problem with the Ronnie coming back, and I didn't mind that Mrs. Tisdale, or whatever the hell her name was, the old lady, was the Ronnie. But it's like, again, it's like unnecessary, and you should have. I don't know. It should have been the younger Ronnie from the start. I don't. Like you said, Franco,
Yeah.
they did. They shoved too much shit in that
Yep.
last episode.
Yeah, it was a weird kind of like segmented, and then they just tried to cram everything in. And yeah, when she bi-generated, I'm like, oh, come on, really? They like, yeah, there was no payoff. There was no setup. There was no payoff. I think.
Wayne, any real
I
fast?
enjoyed the
Go
entire
ahead.
season, except for the last episode.
Yeah.
They did not the tease of Susan Foreman
Yes.
was a waste.
Well, did you hear why? Did you hear what happened with that?
No.
Oh.
I just couldn't care less. It was just like
no.
It's you brought in the doctor's granddaughter,
Mhm.
and she says, "Find me." Okay.
Yeah. And he does. And
this
he
would be
does.
cool. And it was like Chuck just went upstairs.
Good Happy Days reference. Well, as I understand it, and as I've read, apparently that was going to be the premise of the third season, was finding Susan. But there was also this big end of the show and intended for the end of season 2, if they were getting a season 3, where there's going to be a big dance party at the end and everybody's dancing and having a great time. And all of a sudden you see Susan with the little girl, the doctor's, whatever, with, God, I'm forgetting everybody's name. Who's the companion? Belinda or
Belinda.
All right. So yeah, that young lady that was Belinda's and Belinda's baby and stuff.
Poppy.
Poppy was her name?
Oh, Poppy's the little kid.
Yeah.
And Belinda's the companion.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, that it was going to end where they cut to the DJ playing at the party, and it's Susan with Poppy, and she says to Poppy, "Come along, mother." So that Poppy was actually Susan's mom, and that we were going to get that whole explanation in season 3. Well, we'll see if and how long it takes for us to get a next season of Doctor Who. In the meantime, Rudy makes a good point. One of the few things I really liked about the last episode was the 5 minutes of Jodie Whittaker. She was better in those 5 minutes than every season of her as the Doctor. And it just got me angrier again of what a wasted opportunity to have a good actress, as good as an actress as Jodie Whittaker was, and the potential for being an interesting Doctor. And I'm sorry, and no disrespect to Chris Chibnall, because he's written on other shows like Broadchurch and Life on Mars. And it goes back to, Franco, it goes back to what you were saying about wondering about the JJ movies in Paramount and how much interference the studio gave. I honestly don't know. I do think that some of the shows go and some of the studios have been going extreme in some of their political messages that they put out there. And I don't know how much of that was Chibnall when he was doing Jodie and how much of it was the BBC, much like Disney trying to go in that corrective direction. And listen, I understand people say Doctor Who was always woke. And it's like, yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, but I don't think you're talking about wokeness in this sense. I think you're just talking about, because yes, Doctor Who has always been woke, but yeah, I think they're going through to the extremes.
Well,
with it, yeah.
The Eurovision Song Contest episode, which I mostly liked, although I'll admit I fast forwarded through the songs themselves. I didn't care, but that's I know. Sorry, Wayne. I don't know how much of it Eurovision.
Go ahead, finish your thought, and I'll jump in. I'll tell you about something.
But what I didn't like, or what I have to admit, I rolled my eyes at this, was when they had the television control room under hostage, and the guy that was holding them all hostage was asking who the next performer is, and they said, and I'm just using a fake name now, oh, that's Anita Strata from Rigel 7, she, her. And I'm like, I don't think bad guys give a shit what your pronouns are. And I on the one hand, okay, they want to normalize everybody using their pronouns, and I do respect that in theory. But when it doesn't make sense from a story standpoint, to me, it stuck out like a sore thumb. And much like it did in that animated Star Wars show from a year or so ago, when they had the non-binary woman who was hit and was unconscious in front of two bad guys who were strangers to her. And I don't mean the pejorative when I say her, but they're like, do you think they're going to stay unconscious? Well, should we take them to the spaceship? And it's like, how do they know what her pronouns are? And also that we're evil, but we respect pronouns. I'm like, you're in my favorite phrase, you're trying too hard.
Maybe that's just how it's done in that galaxy, Johnny. You don't know.
Yeah, bull crap. Horse hockey, in the words of Colonel Potter. But that said, I liked that episode. I really did like 99% of that episode.
Yeah. So we talked about this. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Franco.
I didn't watch the Capaldi and the Jodie Whittaker, so I finished it before finishing the rest of Doctor Who, the Ncuti Gatwa one. I went back and finished the Jodie Whittaker one because I wanted to. Because I had a feeling like, usually the last Doctor usually shows up, so I
Sure.
kind of wanted to finish it. And it just didn't, I think I said this before. I loved David Tennant. Loved David Tennant. When Matt Smith first came on, I'm like, okay, loved Matt Smith. Peter Capaldi, I'm like, oh, really? They had, grew to love him too. I love those stories, loved him. When it was Jodie Whittaker, I was excited, but I was like, man, it's not hitting. It's not hitting. There's just too many people, too many things. I don't know. The stories were just not there. It didn't strike me. And the Ncuti Gatwa stories, I liked most of them. Most of them. But there were a couple that were like, ugh. And that last episode just kind of didn't do it for me.
I'm sorry, Wayno, you were going to say something. Go ahead.
Oh, for the Eurovision contest, if you do search on YouTube, you'll find the extended version of that song of that little alien guy singing.
Good.
That beep bop bop bop. It's if you want to go insane, just put that on an infinite loop because it is hilarious.
Man,
that they actually have the full song that you could watch.
That's funny. That's really funny. Yeah. Man, there were some great Capaldis back in the day, and really, like when River realizes that it's him, and that episode is so great, and it's so River and so the Doctor, and so Capaldi really had some really strong episodes. But I agree with you about Jodie, man. It's such a missed opportunity, and also I gotta admit, I hate that they rewrote his origin the way they did. And again, completely unnecessary, and a real FU to William Hartnell's Doctor. I think. Sorry, I just do. I don't.
All the original, not just to Hartnell, to all the original writers of the series.
Yeah, and it's like, I'm sorry, guys. Again, a completely unnecessary step that went too far.
Yeah, I understand that. Sometimes when you're writing things and you're tasked to do something. Like, what do you do with this? And you have an idea, but yeah, that was just it was off the mark.
And nobody was blinking about. Well, wouldn't it be great to have a female Doctor? Sure, it would. They're aliens, of course. Yeah. Why not? That's great. But now, oh no, originally she was a woman, and it's like, you're trying too hard. Please stop it.
But I liked the older black lady.
Oh, I did too. Joe, what's her name? Do you remember?
Joe Grant.
Is it? No, not the companion. The elderly black doctor that showed up during Jodie's run. The actress's name is Joe.
But
Joe Guest, mate? No, not Joanna Guest.
When she showed up, I was like, "What's this? What's happening?" But, what they did with it, I'm like, "Oh, this is cool. Pursue this." And then they didn't. Yeah.
However, they have made Big Finish audios, or they are in the process of making them. But I think they're out there of that version of the Doctor. And also, by the way. That Doctor could have come from the future as well. Thank you, ChemDog. Jo Martin, everybody, is the actress who played the other female Doctor that we've so far seen. Which leads me, of course, to the regeneration and Russell Davies wanted to really end on a bang. And this is what he gave us, Billy Piper.
Yeah.
And there's the only thing I like about it is the amount of speculation in the fallout, and that we're probably not going to get an answer for a couple years because there is no new deal, at least in place right now. As I understand it, Russell Davies has written a season 3, but so give me your predictions of what the Doctor regenerating, and this is the image we're left with of Billy Piper, and all she said was hello. But what do you guys think that means? Franco, I'll let you start.
I have no idea what it means. I will tell you that I love her overbite. And if the story, just is solely just about her, her overbite, yeah,
Her teeth.
I'm good with, yeah. But I have no idea. I would hazard a guess that like maybe she came out of that other dimension that she was in, and this is somehow pulling her in. That would be great. That's
Sure.
my assumption. Just because you put me on the spot, I didn't know you were going to ask me that. So
No, that's a good guess, and I'll wait for Wayne to visually come back if he's got to take care of something at the house and everything.
Yeah, no. I got something cool.
Oh, okay. Did you want to?
No.
Do you want to wait until you're on camera?
I got to turn that back on.
There you
go. Image file. Okay.
Oh, you're going to share an image. Cool.
Yeah. I thought again the last episode to me was the worst episode of the 2 seasons. It rushed. It didn't have it. It did nothing for me, and even the regeneration that he used up his I guess a life to save Poppy.
His life force. Yes, that's why he had to regenerate,
and that's why there's no longer bi-generation. It's back down. It's going back to regeneration. The whole bi-generation thing I never liked to begin with.
I thought it was a cool story, but yeah, I can see where.
Here, all right, Wayne is. Should I do it now, Wayne?
Yeah.
Okay, Wayne's sharing an image for us.
Oh, let's see it.
All the various, for the audio audience, all the various iterations of Billy Piper through the show. Are there any Tales of a Call Girl or whatever her other show was?
No. It's Billy Piper as River Song, Billy Piper as Bad Wolf, Billy Piper as the Valyard, Billy Piper as Rose Tyler, as the Doctor, as the Master, as the Ronnie, as the Moment, and as Susan.
That's great. Oh my God, you're right about that. That's fantastic, man. Oh, I love whoever did that. That's
and
wonderful.
It was written by Billy Piper, Russell T. Davis, and Michael Grade.
Oh my. Well, it's interesting that Billy is in this credit, Billy Piper as the Doctor, because unlike other times when we've seen the regeneration happen and you've seen the end credits of the outgoing Doctor and the new Doctor, it's always been and introducing Matt Smith as the Doctor.
The Doctor.
And this time,
they didn't do that.
And Billy Piper, and with no name to whatever she was. And you rattled off a lot of potentials there, Wayne. Do you have an idea? What do you think the regeneration?
I think that was just somebody going off on the fact that it was Billy Piper and created that.
Oh
image.
Yeah, okay, yes. And that makes sense.
No.
But as far as
my thoughts are,
what's your theory of what it means?
Okay, this is a fan theory.
Sure it is.
If you go back to the 50th anniversary episode, you have Matt Smith and Tom Baker.
Yes, the curator.
The curator sitting in front of the painting, Gallifrey Falls No More.
Right.
And Tom Baker says, don't be surprised in the future if you see some familiar faces,
Yep.
And he touches his nose.
Yep.
So whether or not Russell T. Davies going, oh, that was a cool little moment, I'll just do this. Or the other conspiracy theory is, in order to sell season 3, hey, let's put a familiar face on it that people know and love. Billy Piper has nothing to do with the story, other than, hey, if we have a season 3, you can have Billy.
You can or cannot have.
Oh no, you can have Billy. Sorry,
Sure.
yeah, you can have.
Oh, I see what you're saying,
Billy.
as a
So
teaser
as
of, hey,
opposed
if you, yeah.
again, you look at all the conspiracy theories dealing with this. It's hilarious. But my personal thoughts is it's a stunt cast. That's all it is. It's just like the 14th Doctor was stunt casting.
Sure.
It was a waste for David Tennant to come back.
Well, the potential was there, and I do think
I
the
don't
three
know.
stories.
I
Yeah,
like
Frank,
it. Yeah.
I'll let you continue. But yeah, I mean, the potential was there for David Tennant to come back the way that he did, and it was interesting. But as again, as you said with the curator, that the Doctor might revisit an old face. But go ahead,
Yep.
Franco. What were your thoughts of the Tennant specials?
The Tennant, I love them because I just love David Tennant so much as a Doctor. But also, a lot of these times, the Doctor wraps everything up when their time comes. The whatever version of the Doctor wraps everything up, and it's
Yes.
really sad for the Doctor. And I thought it was kind of brave for them. For once, they gave Tennant a happy ending. He got to live out and stay with the family and everything, and I kind of love that. Like it didn't need to be gloom and doom, and Ncuti Gatwa went off and he's the Doctor now,
Yep.
and David Tennant gets to live out his life, you know, as he wishes, and there's always the possibility of bringing him back. But I thought I love those stories.
Well, that's and pairing that with Billy Piper's surprise appearance at the end, two things come to mind. I agree with you, Franco, that I liked it too, and I also like that they gave him a happy ending. That said, he has been dangling there ever since that special, and anytime there is dissatisfaction with what's going on with the current Doctor, it's where's David Tennant? I mean, I almost wondered if, given that Omega, I want to call him the way the Brits do, and I was weird that they decided to make it Omega for the last episode. But yeah, I was expecting him to come back, and I also wonder, as Wayne said, I think it is a placeholder for whatever the first Christmas special will be. That here's Billy. They will give whatever explanation they have, whether she is the moment or Bad Wolf, or as Franco said, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, man, it's that Billy from Rose from where they left Rose in the other dimension and stuff with that other human Doctor that grew out of his hand and everything.
Yeah,
I don't know, but yeah, it's like, all right. And that, yeah, we will, and in fact, yeah, Mike says already rumors that Tennant may return in next season. Yeah, man, no, speculation is all over the place, which is smart because if anything, Russell can go say, look what I did. Everybody's talking about Doctor Who. Yeah, the ratings suck, but everyone's talking about it and they don't know what the hell happened. And we are going to get that war between land and sea with the Sea Devils miniseries before all is said and done. And I don't know if that's going to be later this year or next year.
Is that going to be a televised thing?
Yeah, it's a 6-part. As I understand it, it's a 6-part standalone.
Yeah, it's a unit story.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, and no doctors in there?
As far as we know, no doctors in it.
Oh, okay.
And I thought they already made it, unless, again, much like this final scene, they went back only a month or two before it aired and shot that Gatwa regeneration scene and everything. But yeah, I kind of think it's a placeholder, and then we'll see the new Doctor then. But hey, I would love to see Billy Piper and David Tennant back together again. They're wonderful together, and that would be a great bittersweet opportunity to kind of visit all that stuff. So yeah, I'm okay with that. But yeah, I don't believe Billy Piper is the new Doctor. I think she's very busy with her own career, and while she doesn't mind coming back for this little tease and maybe even one or two more episodes, maybe like Tennant, maybe there'll be 3 episodes or something before we get to a new Doctor. Technically, I don't know. But again, I respect the thought that maybe it's possible. These speculations and everything. Oh, Mitch can come in. Oh, sure. Hold on. Let's get Mitch. Thank you for your time. You could have told us that, man. That's cool. I will. I will send.
He just sent a message, so I did.
All right. I'm going to text him and let him know. I will send him the link in the chat.
Yeah.
Oh wait, he's got it in the chat. He's in the chat.
Yeah.
And didn't I leave it there too? I did.
Yeah, you did. I think personally, it's been 20 years since Doctor Who was rebooted. It's time to let it go fallow.
Oh, I agree. Wayne, I could not agree more. It reminds me of where Star Trek was with Enterprise, where it's like,
Yeah.
you guys are running out of ideas. You need to rest. You really need to rest.
Just let it go for a few years and then bring it back.
I
Oh,
don't
man.
know. Just bringing in new writers and everything would kind of like give it. I don't know. I would like more Doctor Who. That's all I'm saying.
I don't disagree, buddy, but I again, I just kind of feel like it's kind of been a disappointment with Russell Davies coming back, because it's been, to me, they haven't been that great. I don't know. I'm only on hope for the War Between Land and Sea, because all right, you kind of like Torchwood back in the day. You're doing something different with the with it and everything.
How were those Torchwood things? Because I saw that pop up on my. You should watch this next.
I loved Torchwood. I thought Wayne, what were your thoughts on Torchwood?
I think the original TV series was really good. The specials,
Not
I
so
think,
much.
not so much. Especially the American made one. It just didn't feel like Torchwood.
Well, I hear you, and I agree with that to a degree. All right, there we go. I'm trying to text Mitch.
Yeah.
The
No, it just I think it was Children of God or something. Torchwood Children of God. It didn't feel like a Torchwood. It felt like an Americanized version of Torchwood, which it was. It was just like the Doctor Who. The Eighth Doctor was an Americanized version of Doctor Who.
Oh, absolutely.
And it didn't feel like. But the 2 seasons of Torchwood, they're amazing.
The Eighth Doctor, who was the Eighth Doctor?
Paul McGann.
Paul McGann from the Fox TV movie.
Yeah.
Where what's his face was the master. Oh, here comes Mitch.
Oh,
I heard the dink.
Eric Roberts.
Yeah, Eric Roberts. Yeah, absolutely.
And where the Doctor's half human.
Ta-da.
You're a dink. I heard the dink.
Hey.
No,
hostility
no.
right away. Really? All right.
I never said dink.
Hey, Mitch. I know you got a big show coming up in August. What show would that be?
Oh, geez, Johnny. Thanks for asking. That would be Jesus fucking Christ. Hey, Terrific Time. Tonight's Terrific Comic Con happening August 8th to the 10th. See that? You can go with it. Look at that.
Not more than a minute.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sorry about that. I swore in that other show like you would believe.
I know. I'm sorry,
told him
Mitch.
too. Look at that.
Oh, nice. Is that another popcorn container?
It's a popcorn thing, or for you folks, it's a place to hide your weed.
Nice. Man, Mitch
make
is
a
come
bong.
on swinging.
You make a bong out of it. You just fire up.
You could make a bong out of it. That's a good idea.
I'm poking out, bitch.
Now, Mitch, I guess we're all wondering if you're going to buy the $80 Galactus popcorn.
I might have already put my name down, so I'm alerted for that $79 thing. Because, Johnny, as I told Franco, there's nothing more comforting than sitting in a long movie and holding on to the 2 Galactus freaking handles as she got the popcorn right on your junk or the hole. I'm gonna bang it out. I'm gonna right in the mouth, right there.
You can use it twofold. You could do like that the movie Diner. You remember that? Popcorn
exactly.
Yes, exactly.
Or
exactly.
you can turn it around and use it the other way. Whatever you want.
That's not butter.
I'm gonna jam my ultimate nullifier right into his mouth.
Wow.
Whole thing, right? And if you're sitting next to me in the movie and you see this going, if you see Galactus,
and it's not a 4D movie.
I'm not going to watch Fantastic Four with you.
It's not a 4D. It's not a 4D movie, exactly.
If you see this Galactus rocking, don't bother knocking.
Did you get the Red Guardian's limo popcorn container?
No, I did not. I'm not a loser, but I did get the Red Guardian helmet.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. That would make you a loser. Not having Galactus.
No, you know what? It wouldn't fit on my head.
Well,
I bought it, and I was so excited because I'm like,
you got a big head, man. It's not a normal
thing
size
was
head.
made for children. It's like if you had a kid riding on a bike. I don't think it's safety, but you can make him ride as the Red Guardian.
Will you also get the Superman popcorn containers? And which
I
one
will
would you want?
I've already looked at the Crypto the dog one because I think it's cute. I could keep Harley's little dog biscuits in it. I'm trying to tell my wife that. And yeah, there's the newspaper, the Daily Bugle newspaper stand I thought was kind of a cool thing. You know, like the old days when we had newspapers and you
Sure.
put a quarter in and you'd open it up to get your paper out.
Yeah, the vending machine. Yeah.
The
I think
vending machine. Yeah,
Wayne was saying that one is exclusive to Canada, right?
no, I saw that they're going to bring some of it down to the States because I'm like, oh, because anyway. But the Galactus thing is freaking nuts. $80.
I know, man.
They're going to put my ashes in that shit when I'm dead. My wife will be like, oh, God.
I just look forward to the civilizations hundreds of years from
When
now
they find all this
that
crap.
dig up the
Yeah.
landfills and are like, what the hell was this?
Dr. Zaius.
Exactly.
Someday, millions of years from now, they'll think we worshipped Captain Carrot and his zoo crew. Look at that.
Well, that's a good one.
Cool.
This could be like the new Jesus right here. Freaking, this could be it. It'll be like
Is that McFarlane?
Yeah, it's a McFarlane toy based on a Roy Thomas creation with Scott Shaw. He was
Yeah,
the-
but but that's the more modern.
No, this is the more
badass.
pumped one. Yeah, I was like,
it's
I
the
don't want
badass.
this.
It's Starlin. When Starlin was writing Captain Carrot, right? Didn't Starlin write the newer?
Did he write Captain Carrot? I don't
Wasn't
know.
it Grant Morrison?
Oh,
my
no, you're
God,
right. It
that
was
would've
Grant.
been something.
It was Grant.
Well,
You're right.
I grew up with the original one in the '80s.
Oh yeah,
that
Scott
was
Shaw.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway,
With-
yes,
with-
if they dig this shit up years from now, they'll be like, "What? No wonder that civilization died."
With Yankee Poodle as part of his Justice League.
That's
as I
right.
remember.
That's right. She was like the Wonder Woman. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but they're
Yes.
no inferior 5.
No,
Oh,
they're
that's
not.
sucked.
Yeah, but I love Shaw. I love Scott Shaw, as I know Franco does too. So it's like, yeah, he's, Scott's great. Oh man, all right, Rudy, interesting comment, and I agree. We were talking about Torchwood.
Oh yeah, I like.
It's a shame that John Barrowman has his controversy, his controversy orange. I don't know what that means.
I could tell you some John Barrowman stories, but that's
I'm
another-
sure you could actually.
So
Yeah,
could
that's
I.
too bad.
What?
Go ahead, Wayno. What were you
Oh
gonna say?
no, I'm not going to tell you. That's off stuff. That's
Oh,
off
he
screen.
was at Terrificon 2019 2019. He was at our show. So
okay.
that was
I
it.
didn't see him. Boy, that sucks.
No,
I know.
you
It was
weren't there. You weren't.
oh,
there,
was
Joe.
that a year I wasn't there? All right.
I don't think you were. It was
Okay.
before COVID, so no, I don't think so.
Okay. I couldn't remember. You're right.
I
Maybe
didn't know
wasn't
you
going
back then. I
I
was
understand.
I was calmer.
I
Yeah.
told you in the chat, and I said it already on the air. Ramita wants to do a Daredevil panel with Anicetti.
Yeah, I saw that. Oh, I saw you. That was coming up. Was that last night or tonight?
It was this afternoon. We did it this
Oh.
afternoon.
Okay, yeah, no, I already made a note of that because these people. I was just on this comic book thing, and they were asking me what the panels look like. I go, I've only got one schedule so far because John Suntress said let's do Nascenti and Ramita Jr. So I'm like, all right.
Oh, there you go. Oh, thanks for the promo. I appreciate it, man.
I did. I was like, hey man, I'm literally ordering airline tickets tonight for Brian Posehn. I got his ticket. I've got.
Oh, that's great.
Well, not really. I got to pay $30,000, but 17 more tickets to go. And Haley Atwell, because here's the deal. I got all the comic book people done. They're
Okay.
easy.
Okay.
It's the actors that take forever because they're waiting on their schedules. This is when they work. A lot of them work in the summer months. So
Yeah.
I'm literally flying one in tonight from Spokane, Washington, because she's filming a show up there. I'm like, whatever. And then Wayne will tell you all the Star Trek people. Was it Vancouver? No, not Vancouver. Toronto.
Vegas. Oh, yeah.
They were all in Toronto. All the next, what is that show?
Strange New Worlds.
Strange New
Academy.
Worlds. Yeah, I had to fly them all down from that, and I was like, "What the hell, man? Who knew Toronto was like Hollywood North?"
Yeah,
Well-
because they have their own movie studio. The Star Trek movie studio is
Yeah.
set up there.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. And Paramount, not Paramount. Marvel's always Georgia. Whenever I get Marvel guys, they're always flying up from Georgia because that's where the big movie studio is down there.
No,
So,
that's
yeah.
Hollywood has taxed itself out of the movie business, and that's
Yeah,
why
guys.
they're both Newsom and Trump are talking about trying to come up with new incentives for the state to bring the industry back to LA and everything. No, it's crazy.
With the fires and everything going on now, you got a filming of a great disaster movie going on over
Oh
there.
yeah, it's nuts. All right, let's play catch up, Mitch.
Sure. What's up?
First, well, we may as well because we're talking about Doctor Who right now.
Yeah.
What did you think of the wrap up of the Shooty Gatwa era?
I love the guy. No offense to the actor. They're much better than the Jodie Whittaker stuff that I was a fan of. Not to her again, she's a great actress. The stories didn't service her.
Yeah.
But this one, dude, I don't know what it was. I didn't even care to watch it. And if you didn't remind me And I have Disney Plus, and I used to be one of the reasons why, because Doctor Who was going to be on it.
Sure.
I watched the first two. Then you reminded me it's on. I'm like, oh, it is? I didn't even know it was on. I don't think they did a good job promoting it. Maybe it's just me. Like
I agree with you, Mitch.
I didn't see
Yeah.
a lot of ads or anything. I was like, oh, it's on? And then I went to catch up. And out of the ones I went to watch, I liked the one that was all about Ruby Sunday.
Right.
But it was a weird setup. It was kind of like, well, watch it for no reason, only because the bad guy got introduced at the end. I'm like, so this was just like an exposition? What was this, an hour-long nothing?
Yeah.
That's what it was. And then when they tried to bring it all together at the end with that bad guy, that whatever he was, like he was trying to get Unit, and they were trying to put them down, and I was like, what is this? And then at the end when he becomes Billy Piper, I'm like, oh my God, is this a Hail Mary pass? What the hell? I mean, I love Billy Piper, but all I'm thinking, oh, is it going to screw up David Tennant's character because he's that doctor and that was his love interest? Or is that, are they trying to hook the doctor up with her now because that the doctor's going to F himself? I don't know. So that's all I thought of. I go, this is what it's come to now. It's literally like
Johnny and I were talking
What?
before. All the credits of the doctors, it was like introducing, Peter Capaldi as a doctor, introducing.
right.
They didn't have that in the credit. They just had,
Billy Piper.
Piper.
And Billy Piper. Yep.
Yeah.
Billy Piper. Yeah.
So I think it's a big fake out, Mitch. I think
it's a stunt. Yeah. It's
yeah,
definitely a
oh,
stunt.
absolutely. But to Russell Davies' credit, everybody's talking about it 3
Well,
weeks later.
Just like when it was a stunt when David Tennant showed up and we were
Right.
all freaking out about it. And
Right.
that's what but again, it's like, how many times are you going to go to that stunt well? And now
Yes.
it's like, you can't keep killing off the Fantastic Four because you know they're coming back a week later. It's like, it's one and done, buddy.
Yeah. No,
And
I
it's
agree
kind of
with you.
sad. It's kind of sad because he's a talented guy. I loved all the work he's done before, but this time it seemed like it's like those old rock stars. Like I liked Roy Orbison when he came out, he had that one album, but then you're like,
Yeah.
you're gonna just milk it. You're not gonna really obtain where you were. It's good. So I think that's where we are. And honestly, if they cancel it tomorrow, as much as I love the Doctor, I wouldn't care.
Well, the status is Disney
wouldn't
is
miss
not
it.
Disney is not going to do a third season, and
Oh,
but they do
really?
have yes. So here's my little information dump for you. There is a side story, much like we were describing Torchwood, called "The War Between Land and Sea," that is going to be a unit story. But as far as we know, no Doctor. The only possibility, because we really don't know what's going on, that maybe Piper's explanation of why she showed up at the end might be part of that. But I think it's more likely that whenever they do get back, they're looking for a new partner, because this is another problem, guys, in general.
You mean a companion?
No. I don't mean when I say they're looking for a new partner, I don't mean a companion or a new Doctor. What they're looking for is a new studio partner. Because the BBC cannot afford to put on Doctor Who at the level it's been for the last 20 years. That's why they went to Disney. And now that Disney has abandoned it, the studio that the company that runs Doctor Who right now, much like Secret Hideout running Star Trek, is called Bad Wolf. Bad Wolf is a division of Sony. And Sony does have a good, strong relationship with Amazon. So it is possible, because Russell Davies has already said he's written the season 3. Now he'd have to adjust it because Ncuti Gat was not part of that season 3 anymore. So I don't know how much that would shake.
Wait, he's totally off the show?
He's gone.
Are you shitting me?
No.
Oh, why?
Because Disney, and there's a reason, Disney waited too long and decided they were going to wait until the ratings for season 2 came out before they would decide whether they'd go with a season 3 or not.
They really got rid of this guy after that big build-up, and he's the new Doctor, and they got rid of him already. Because I'm like, oh, what's going on here? He's not really regenerating already.
He's done. He's gone.
What
he's already.
The hell, man? That's just no faith in it. You know what that tells me? No, honestly, if they've got no faith in the star of the goddamn show, why the hell should I have faith in watching this and give them my entertainment value? Because they're phoning it in. The freaking main guy.
Can I just say?
What?
Can I just say you went in the span of 5 seconds. You're like, I don't give a crap if they renew this thing. I don't care anymore. Wait a minute. He's gone? He's not coming back? What the hell? I liked him. I wanted to see more of him. Like, in the span of 5 seconds.
No, because look, honestly, it's the same problem I have with DC Comics too. They don't give shit. I'll try not to swear. They don't give things time to develop on their own like they used to. Stop with this MTV or whatever attention deficit disorder, whatever the hell problem people have now. Not everybody has that. We're not all drugged out on shit. We can sit there and wait for stuff. You don't have to stream 20 episodes in one day. You don't need that. Once a week
Johnny,
is fine.
calm down.
Okay? No, I'm just
No,
saying.
I love this rant. Keep going.
They don't.
I got no problem with this rant.
They don't give anything time to simmer and cook slowly. They rush it out the door. If it doesn't get the first ratings in the first 20 minutes or something because people's eyes were shifting and they started changing the channel or flipping around, oh, it's a complete disaster. I'm going to tell you another, has nothing to do with TV. The effing Thunderbolts, which was one of the better Marvel movies they had in a long effing time, in years, they pulled it out of the theater in less than a month because they didn't have enough damn theaters to put Stitch or whatever the hell stupid cartoon they
Lilo and
just came out
Stitch.
with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you guys are so screwed up. It's not funny. If I was running a company and these jackasses worked for me, there would be pink slips all over the effing place because you can't execute. You cannot get it done properly. You're wasting money. Andor, oh, it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. It's fantastic. It should not cost $260 million. Are you stupid? But it looked great. Dude, I could film that shit on my effing iPhone, okay, with blue screen. Don't give me that crap. Babylon 5, the special effects sucked ass, and everybody knows it. But you know what? The story and the writing and the acting were superior. So don't tell me that you need $265 effing million to get this stuff to look great. Look, it got good ratings. No, tell better stories. Sit in a writer's room. Don't just sit there and go, well, I can't think of anything. How about you? Let's do 10 gimmicky episodes. I'm looking at you, Strange New Worlds, because, dude, it's not that hard. They used to do 25 episodes a year on a shoestring budget back in the 60s, man, when everybody was freaking on drugs. Okay?
You're
And
right.
the other half were getting killed in the Vietnam War, and the other half were having riots. Everything was messed up, and they still did quality work. Okay, Spock's brain sucks ass, but some of them were okay.
That Eden episode 2 sucked.
And the fact that you told me they got rid of that.
Did you miss taking your vitamins, or do you?
No, I was ranting on that other thing for 2 hours.
Good. I bet they loved it.
I went off on that about why I can't get certain actors, and I had to take people down and behind the scenes.
Promote the show, Mitch, because you know fans of yours here will want to hear you rant over there.
Terrificon, Connecticut's Terrificon.
No, I understand. Yeah. No. The podcast.
The podcast.
Yeah, the podcast you run. Things in the basement.
I think that 3 Men in a Basement. Yeah,
3 Men in a Basement. Okay, yeah. No, they're Terrificon regulars. I know that absolutely.
Yeah, they're nice guys. They're all nice guys.
No, hey man, that's great.
Hey, they got nothing to do either. I even told them. I said, guys, could you hurry and shut up because I got to go yell on another show. And they were like, yeah, all right. But
no, I'm glad you made it.
I didn't know they fired him, John. I really thought, okay, it's just like he's part of the show, and that's just the story that he's going to
fire him.
Replaced. Well, whatever happened.
Well, no, but I was like, no, you can honestly, I don't blame Gatwa for leaving because the problem was Disney was kind of holding the show hostage and going, well, let's see what the ratings are for season 2. And it's like they made that season 2 years ago. And again, because of all the problems with strikes and everything else.
Wait, that stuff we watched was done 2 years ago?
Yeah.
They filmed back to back. Season 1 and season 2 were filmed back to back.
And further, that regeneration of Billy Piper was added at the end, and there was going to be a completely different ending that would have teased season 3. Because as you saw, and we talked about it earlier, but I'm happy to bring it up again, they had the big tease of all of a sudden, holy shit, there's Susan, the doctor's granddaughter. Find me, grandfather. Find me. And they did nothing with it because instead Russell did the switcheroo on the end and gave us the Billy Piper ending because there was a scene with Susan that would have led into season 3 with Gatwa and Poppy, the daughter that Belinda and the doctor supposedly had, and Susan grabbing the kid and going, come along, mother. And so yeah, there's going to be all right. Well, what the hell does that mean and everything?
Well,
we didn't get that, and it's going to probably be at least 2 years, if not longer.
No one's going to
That's the
give
problem.
a crap.
That's Mitch. You hit the nail on the head, man. This is the problem with streaming in general. That they have to, and I understand from a standpoint that we got to see how well it did if we want to commit to more than two seasons or whatever. But the short seasons and the fact that when you don't have a commitment, that you got to start from scratch again and build a show with another season and now another doctor. It's and also finding another studio partner, because again, these studios cannot afford to do these things on their own anymore.
The effects look great. I was like, wow, this is probably the best Doctor Who has ever looked. And I used to watch it when it was a goddamn guy in a string and a plate. And
the stuffed animal, back in the day.
Stories were good and they had no money. And that's why it lasted 50 years. Because it had compelling stories and characters. And that's my point. You don't need to spend $280 million if you got good writing. And Russell's a good writer, for God's sake.
Of course he is.
What the hell? So what he was? I'll tell you what. I'm thinking this. He got called back, and they're like the old, baseball analogy. They give it the old or football. They brought in freaking Brett Favre, and they're like, "You're going to be the guy, even though you're 42 or 43, and you're not that guy anymore." But the legend is there. It's like you're going to bring the Jets to a season. Oh my God, he just tore his tendon 2 seconds into the game. He's going to help the Steelers. No, the dream's over. You had your day in the sun. You should have aged out gracefully. Even jackass Brady, when he was with the Bucks at the end, I'm like, dude, no one's going to take away what you did. You were amazing. You won all those effing rings, except for the 2 that Eli Manning kicked your effing ass to, and you know it. So anyway, go out like a Seinfeld with your head held high. Go out while you're on top. Don't go out. And Doctor Who, I get it. They're like, this is a great property. It's got 60 years of investment. It's got a great fan base. But it wasn't working. It was just like, I'm like, again, like my wife said years ago with the prequels, and I used to scream about that all the time. This isn't new. She goes, if they didn't have the word Star Wars on them, would you go sit and watch those movies? I go, hell no. The only reason I'm watching it because it says Star Wars, Attack of the Clones. If it was like Star Blazers, Attack of the Clones, I'm like, what is this piece of crap?
Well, Mitch, I asked the guys earlier regarding, and with that in mind, because the three of you were much kinder to the Section 31 Star Trek movie than I liked was.
It, yeah.
So have you watched it again, and would you watch it again?
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
Okay.
No, because sometimes I see things one and done, and when I go back to watch them, I realize Suntress was right, and the fact that if you think I'd ever say that ain't gonna happen. So that's why I permanently put that on the do not watch, because I don't want to give in to you. It's like the movie The Sword and the Sorcerer. I saw that when I was a kid. I thought it was the greatest thing freaking ever. I went back and watched it a couple of months ago for the video show that we do. Me and my friend Ed. Oh, it's a piece of shit. It's filmed horribly. The acting's like, but I was like 13. When you're 13,
that was the animated.
No. That's Fire and Ice. This is the one that had Richard Mall as the demon. Lee Horsley as the guy Talon with the
Lee Horsley, Matt Houston.
Yeah, and Kathleen Beller from Dynasty. She had dark hair. And
Catherine Oxenberg or
no. It was Kathleen Beller. She had dark hair.
Bell. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
No, I don't remember.
Again? I remember this movie.
It was called The Sword and the Sorcerer.
That's right.
I gotta look that up.
And no, it's a good movie. It's a good movie. And the guy
just shit on it, but all right.
is an actor named Richard Lynch, who burned his body up freaking freebasing like Richard Pryor did, and he had skin grafts. He couldn't sweat because of the skin grafts. So when he would be at shows, he would be at like local comic horror shows.
Oh yeah,
he would have to have fans on him because the mother could not sweat. He just it's tragedy, man.
Great character actor who also did a great 2-part Next Generation. Gambit. He's one of the aliens in Gambit and everything. Richard.
He had a great delivery. He almost sounded like the actor, like Christine. Look, it's still me. He had that weird, like
Dr. Corby.
But that actor had that delivery, like
I love that guy. I love that actor.
Like Anthony Zerbe only can talk like
Anthony Zerbe. Nice.
All like, well, yeah,
I just on Tubi, everybody.
He's still alive, right?
And I think so. You know, there was a great
I
Jonathan
should bring him to
Frid.
Terrificon. He won't be alive too much longer after that. That's
Oh,
for
God
sure.
forbid. You know, but there's a great Jonathan Frid documentary about Barnabas Collins and Frid's whole career. And Zerba is in that a lot. And it's really, really interesting. And man, he's getting up there, Anthony Zerba, but
I think
he's
he's
great.
got to be about 85.
Probably. Well, hell, even Frid at the end was in his late 80s or early 90s and stuff and managed to hang on.
Zerby
Rudy-
was creepy. Wait, was Zerby the guy? Was he Baltar on Battlestar Galactica?
No,
he
that
the
was
bad
John
guy?
Colicos, who also was
Oh,
Core.
he was a good guy too. He was one of the Klingons guys, right? The
Yeah, he's
three
Core.
Klingons?
Yeah, he's Core, both
Yeah.
in the original series and Deep Space
He had
Nine.
that
Absolutely.
eyebrows thing. Yeah, no,
Oh,
he
yeah.
was good. He'd sit in that big ass chair every week. He's like, and
Report.
then they had Dr. Smith was the voice of
Yeah.
Lucifer.
Yeah, by your command. By your command.
Yeah, I don't know why they picked him, but there was a good.
Oh, no,
Bad
it
guy.
was because Jonathan Harris has that great oily voice that works in so many different ways.
And Colicos, they would light him from underneath, so he looked like the devil and shit when he'd
Oh,
sit
yeah.
in that chair, with like Mephisto.
Oh, no.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
he was in that great Richard Hatch.
What?
Okay, by the way, Anthony Zerba, according to Chemdog, is
I
89.
was 89. Wow.
Unfortunately, Richard Lynch has passed on.
Oh,
in
yeah.
I
2012.
kind of figured, man. He had a good run, but yeah.
But he's in that movie though, so go watch that. It's
Oh yeah,
probably on
no,
TV.
Sword and Sorcerer is amazing.
That's
No,
hilarious.
it's not. No, it's not.
Yes,
Don't
it
say it's
is.
But it's fun to watch.
It's
It's
fun to
part of my
watch.
collection. It's
I was
an
gonna-
amazing.
Oh,
if it fits in my collection.
you bought the Evil Bong series. What the hell you know, man?
Evil Bong.
Yeah,
Real fast,
Johnny's
Rudy
in
has
6 of those movies.
Rudy makes an interesting Doctor Who point, and this is some three-dimensional chess going on, not to
Yeah.
cross subjects. But he says he'd love to see Poppy at some point meet the Doctor's daughter, played by
Right.
David Tennant's wife. Sure.
She was gorgeous. She took off in a rocket. They never saw her again. It's like, what the freak?
Hello,
You know who
Dad.
you never saw again? Tasha Yar's sister. Speaking of gorgeous, remember her?
Oh yeah, my
You
God.
could not forget her because it was like the whole episode. You were like, interesting.
Oh,
but,
no, beautiful woman. Absolutely, you're right.
Never
about that.
came back.
Nope.
Why? Good character. She should have teamed up with Tom Riker, and they could have had some adventures together. And he could have,
Well,
Make
as
some
I
peace
told Frakes, I'm like, I'm waiting for that Tom Riker story. Whether, and I assumed I was really hoping one of the TV movies would potentially be a Tom Riker story.
when they killed off Ensign Rowe, which was one of the dumbest things they did in that
Yeah.
new show.
Yeah.
Again, shock value. It's like, why? Oh, they killed Ensign Rowe. They killed East. What was the kid's name? The 799.
Icheb.
Another wasted character.
Well,
Why did you do that?
because of sadly they in cancel culture, and honestly, I don't think what he said was that cancelable.
Who?
But the original actor that played Icheb
What happened?
said some lousy. I don't remember the details, but you'd have to look it up. Or
Is
if
that
somebody-
true? That's why they killed his character?
Well, that's why the original actor did not come back as Icheb.
Oh.
But also, you're right, for shock value. No, that's and to really give because there's not enough trauma in new Star Trek, is there?
Oh my
They're
God!
always-
When those crazy ass Vulcan women were freaking out and blowing their brains out with phasers, I
Yes,
was
the
like, what
Romulans.
hell is
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
And they never went back to that. They never
Well-
told us what the hell it was. That evil tentacle
'cause-
shit coming through the black hole.
Mitch, I swear, and it's something else if you didn't realize, the way that the deal with Kurtzman and Secret Hideout running Star Trek is, if there are things in production, even after Skydance takes over next summer, they're going to have to let Kurtzman finish whatever he has in production. So that's why we're getting technically a season 5 of Strange New Worlds, but
I saw that.
only
Yeah.
6 episodes.
What?
Only 6 episodes
Why?
from last season because they don't have the money and
Oh,
they're
for God's sake!
yeah. Just like how the last season of Discovery was only 8
Bullshit.
episodes. It is BS. I completely agree. And further,
They don't have enough money
they've made a season of Starfleet Academy already.
Oh, great,
They are
great.
shooting season 2. But if that, so we'll get probably 2 seasons of Academy. We'll see what it looks like.
You know why that's going to be good?
Tell me.
Because my New Haven hometown boy's on that shit.
Tell me.
Mr. Paul Giamatti.
I
He's
love
the
Paul.
bad guy. He's on the first season.
Yes,
He's the
he
bad
is.
guy.
Well,
But
I hope.
because he's a good actor, and that's why
Well-
it'll be good. But
Well,
other than that,
yeah, but Jason Isaac was a good actor too, and Discovery sucked.
he's no Tilly.
And Michelle Yeoh is a good actress, and Discovery sucked, and Section 31 sucked.
No, Jason Isaac was the best part of freaking Enterprise.
I agree.
You know,
Well,
he was-
yes,
yeah.
he was, but it wasn't enough. And I, I agree with you guys, and you, Mitch, and I'll ask the guys as well. Upon reflection, season 1 of Discovery was probably the best season.
It's
of the
not
show.
that bad. No, it's not. And then it goes off the
Yeah.
cliff. I mean,
Yes.
compared to the other 5 seasons,
for
but it was still-
4 more seasons. Go on.
But it was still bad enough that we complained about season 1
Because
we're
because
like,
of the
okay,
stuff they changed.
hopefully it'll get better, because I remember we were hoping that it would get better, because we're like, it was all right.
when
but
they
it,
went
you know,
into the future, I was so excited for it. I was like, this is going to be great because it's a whole new world. It's
'cause they're
1,000
finally
years
listening
later.
to us. Yeah, they're finally
Clean
listening to us.
slate, and then it opened up with that cool Western type of feel when they were on that ice planet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is great. And then they went into that bullshit story about the Scream that ended warp travel. And I was like,
Yes.
what?
Well,
What?
because this-
An alien thing that looked like a freaking turtle without its shell screamed like a
All right, don't let Doug Jones hear you say that this summer.
I'll tell him, dude, please.
I hear you. No, I hear you.
Send him
if I'm allowed to do the Doug Jones panel, I promise to behave. You know that. No, I hear you, Mitch, and I agree with you, man. Again, it's the reasons why we got frustrated with. Hold on, zooming in, because Wayne is showing us something.
Oh, that's Jason Isaac. Yeah, and that's
There he
my
is.
boy. That's
There you go.
Anson Mount.
There you go. Oh, I like him pointing at him accusingly.
And who's that guy in the middle, Wayne?
That's a
I don't know,
Magatu.
man.
That's a Magatu.
Nice that it's a Mugatu. By the way, season 8 of Rick and Morty so far so good.
Yes.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah,
Really enjoying
I
it.
have been watching that. Yeah,
No, here's the deal.
Tell
6 episodes, you say. Okay, let me just go
10
on
of
this.
season 4 for Strange New Worlds, 6 of
6 for
season 5. Yep.
Okay.
So they're
You
going to
can't
finish.
give-
Go ahead.
What?
Go.
No, you can't give me 10 episodes. Okay, let's look at
No.
the cost of things. None of those actors have gotten a raise because they were at my show, and I can tell you what their guarantees were, and these people are not making big money, and they're good actors, and they deserve more money. So that's said. So that's not going into salaries. There's no big guest stars on that show. So it's not going there. It's not going onto the sets because they already have the sets built. The CGI is done on a computer. They reuse a lot of shots again. At this point, they're just reusing old programs they have.
Sure.
What in the hell is costing so much money that you can't squeeze out another 4 episodes and give me a solid 10 instead of 6?
The only thing I can think of, Mitch, is the fact that
They lost streaming money.
Well, yes, but also that they sold. They're selling to Skydance, and so the current regime doesn't want to put more money in than they need to. That's why they canceled Prodigy.
That's what it came down to?
Well, I think, and also the fact that they shuffled it off to Netflix. By the way, everybody, if you haven't caught up on Prodigy, you better hurry, because I believe it's the end of this month. Season 1 goes away from Netflix, and at the end of the year, season 2 goes away from Netflix. And that's
what you need to do, though? You need to go out to a Walmart, because they don't sell them anywhere else, and go buy the damn box set and watch them on your DVD and keep them forever, because it might be old technology. But guess what? You could watch it whenever you want, because all this shit is going away. I've been watching more and more.
Get rid of DVDs and stuff.
Oh, Target doesn't have DVDs anymore. Best Buy doesn't have DVDs anymore. Walmart is the only place that I know of, other than a DVD store, which are few and far between. You have to go to Amazon to buy shit. And
right.
I'm like,
Pioneer or Deep Discount DVD is another great company to buy stuff. But also, and Movies Unlimited, by the way, everybody.
I think so. I think hardcore. Not hardcore? What do you call it when you have stuff like physical media?
Physical media. Yeah.
I think it'll come back. I really do, because
it might like vinyl. It might like vinyl.
I mean, honestly, why go? I've been so much money on these streaming services for these shows and these contents that there's less and less that I want to watch. So I don't really care. When they get rid of Star Trek, I'll stick around for Starfleet Academy, but I don't think they got anything in the Tilly after that.
The Tilly, if you will. I got to say, I do like Tulsa King on Paramount. I like the Pierce Brosnan, Helen Mirren, Tom Hardy.
Mobland. That was good.
Is really good. So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Paramount's still making good shows.
Yeah, but you know what? I watched Duster, which was, I think it's on HBO.
Tell me, what'd you think?
Ordway goes, oh, Duster's so good. So I watched 3 or 4 or 5 episodes. I don't know, because here's the problem with streaming. and Franco tested it. You put it on in your studio, whatever. It's on in the background. You are kind of watching it, like listening to a radio, and you kind of look up and listen to that. I go, but there was nothing compelling in this Josh Holloway, who was he the actor from years ago that was like the
Lost.
big deal?
Yeah, he's Sawyer from Lost. Absolutely, yeah.
That was him. Okay, because he's
Yeah.
got like long blonde hair. I'm like,
Yeah.
why do I know this guy? So I'm watching it. It's okay, but it's on the same level as like what was the movie that Arthur or Anthony Starr did? Banshee.
The Max,
It's
the
kind of
Cinemax show.
yeah,
I
it's
like
kind
that.
of yeah, but they're all so none of it stands out. It's set in that you'd like it, John, because it's set like in the 70s. Adrienne Barbeau, they have an actress playing Adrienne Barbeau in it. She's like, oh, I'm going to do a show called Maude with B. Arthur. And if you know your references, and they obviously are making it for old farts like us, because
Yeah,
who
yeah.
the hell's going to watch this? No one's going to know. And it's set in the 70s, so there's a lot of references to stuff. You're like, oh, I know what they're talking about. But it's okay, but if I was spending $7 or $20 a month just to, and this is the stuff they're giving me, HBO sucks. I'm sorry. I got the Morticians. I'm watching a undersea thing about some scumbag who was ripping people off with cremations and stealing body parts. It's gruesome.
Yes.
I can't stop watching it.
I remember that.
I
story,
watched the Pee
absolutely.
Wee Herman thing because it was good, and I don't even
Great.
like Pee Wee Herman.
Oh man, the Pee Wee thing was
I
fantastic.
thought it was great, and I was like, I never liked that guy, but I thought the thing was entertaining. And I'm watching this Duster, which is okay, but none of it is amazing. Like, oh my God, I'm so glad I spent all this money on it. And a lot of the cable services around here, we have one called Spectrum. They're giving it to you now for free. So I'm like canceling my services, but the thing of it is, you have to get with ads. Hey, dude, we grew up with commercials. I don't really care if I can save $20 a month and watch the same crap, but I can get up and take a leak or go get a soda. It's not that bad,
Well,
but they drop it in weird times though.
Yeah,
It's like-
Tubi and Pluto are I think are great channels,
Mhm.
and I keep making fun of. Sorry, everybody, I know I'm a broken record sometimes, but they call these channels fast channels, which stands for free advertising supported television, or as we used to call it, television.
TV. Yeah, I don't care. I'm like, oh, all right. I don't like when Amazon tells me how long. That drives me nuts. It's like you have 180 seconds before this goes back on. Suddenly, 180 seconds seems like 2 years. I was like,
I know, isn't that funny? And really,
Well,
network
yeah.
bricks are much longer than 180 seconds.
well,
Yeah,
the worst one is Peacock. I don't pay for the one with the out there. You can't fast forward. That drives me effing nuts because sometimes I'll like, I want to just you got to wait for the commercial breaks, or if you fast forward, you have to watch like 4 minutes of commercials, then they'll let you go on to it. I'm like, that's the price you pay, I guess, for being cheap. But
No, and again,
Yeah.
they finally. I was talking to a friend last night who comes from animation,
yeah,
and does a lot of deals, and he's like, yeah, he goes, suddenly all the studios realized, as exciting and shiny and brand new that streaming subscriptions were, that's not enough money to pay for this stuff.
now what do? They're in a corner. They're like, oh, we told people not to go to the movies and stay home and watch it. This ain't worth our effort.
Because they're not going to the movie.
Can we tell people to go back to the movie theaters again? And they're like, well,
Yeah, because again, the combination of COVID and the strikes really got people very comfortable watching TV at home.
No, and the worst one is I went to go see The Professional. Was that? No, The Accountant Part 2.
Oh, The Accountant, yeah.
And we went to it, and as soon as this started the movie, it said, an Amazon movie. And I said to my wife really loud, I go, son of a bitch, we just blew $40. And she's like, why? I go, this effing thing's going to be on Amazon Prime in 2 weeks. And it was. And the other day, she's like, she tried to justify it. She goes, no, it was more like 3 or 4 weeks ago. I go, no, it wasn't. It was 3 weeks ago. And I paid for this. And now they stole $40 from me. And she's like, oh my God, stop. And that damn Christmas movie that I paid to go see with Captain America, son of a bitch. The same thing. I paid for it and they put it on. I'm like,
okay. Two things, Mitch.
What?
I watched The Accountant 2 this week, comfortably on my daybed.
Shut up.
On Amazon. And the other thing, do not go see F1 in the theaters.
Why?
Because that's an Apple movie.
Wow. I'm glad you told me that because and the thing is, I wanted to go see the thing My Life with Chuck because Luke Skywalker's in it, and I saw the ads and I'm like, oh come on, I gotta go support Luke Skywalker. It wasn't playing anywhere. I'm like, he's on every damn show last week. Colbert, the Today Show. And I go to look in the paper. I'm like, let's go see it. Not playing. Well, what?
That reminds me, first of all, F1. I got to tell you guys, when Grand Prix, back when we were very tiny children, or maybe in some cases not even born yet, depending on who I'm talking to, that was really an amazing widescreen release of a great racing movie.
Oh, I remember that.
And I also love Ford versus Ferrari, and I love Le Mans.
Le Mans?
What was the Paul Newman
Yes,
one? That was Grand Prix, right?
Grand Prix was it was Garner.
No, remember Paul Newman did one? It was like a big screen movie thing. It was like him racing cars. It was like how they do it.
Yeah,
I
but
thought it was.
Was that Grand Prix? Because I know it's
I
Yves
thought it was
Montand and
Monaco or something.
You're missing the best racing movie of all with Cold Trickle. Days of
No,
Thunder.
you know what the best one was?
Days of Thunder, sure.
Gumball Rally.
Sure.
What's the one with Ronnie Howard? The first one he did with.
Eat My Dust.
Oh,
Was it Eat My Dust? It was the Roger Corman movie.
That and Grand Theft Auto were the two that he
Yeah.
did.
Grand Theft Auto was a good one too.
Yeah.
And of course, the best one is Smokey and the Bandit.
Of course.
Well,
Absolutely.
he's trying to get across.
Oh.
He's trying to deliver. He's trying to deliver Coors, which is the shittiest beer
Cannonball
you'll ever.
No.
Cannonball
Nick,
Run.
you'll forgive me because I know that East Coast has great beer, but it really was from that era when getting Coors from the West Coast was a real treat. My
Was
father.
it really?
Oh,
my
God, yeah. Oh, no, that was a special occasion when my dad, through his bar, would have his liquor contacts and stuff like, hey, Jim, I can get you a case of Coors. Fantastic. Get me
I
the case
remember
of
when
Coors.
I had that, and I was like, they went across country for this crap?
Coors Light is the one that is the weaker beer, but no, regular Coors was all right.
All right.
So,
Yeah,
but yeah,
we're
all right,
gonna
Rudy
get Black
agrees.
Label.
Rudy says Cannonball Run is the best.
No.
Cannonball
I
Run.
said Cannonball Run.
Steve McQueen.
No,
Yeah,
you
Lamont
know
is
where
really good.
Cannonball Run starts, don't you, Wayne? Darien, Connecticut, right down the street from here. That's where it
There you go.
starts off, and then they have to go to California. No, but
Speaking of Adrian Barbeau in Cannonball
no.
Run.
So good because my kid likes Formula, and I told him, "Oh, go see the new
I'm
Brad
seeing
Pitt
F1.
picture."
I'm
But I'm
seeing
going to tell him, well, it might look good on the big screen. The same reason why I go see these.
Well, that's the
comic
thing.
book things, you know?
Yeah, and again, this is the
Spectacle.
problem that the Hollywood studios have put themselves in a box that it has to be a spectacle for people to want to see it in the theater. Otherwise, yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay watching the rom-com at home. I'm okay watching the funny comedy at home if they still make raunchy funny comedies anymore.
They don't.
Oh yeah, Chemdog's right. Another great. Well, I wouldn't call it a racing movie.
No,
but
it
is
had a
car
racing
movie.
scene
That's
in it.
well, it has a chase scene. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
You know what though about these the big movies you were talking about? I just saw they got the guy that was in 300. What's his name? Gerard Butler.
Yeah, sure.
Mhm.
He's on, and I loved him in 300. You know,
Sure.
they say Sparta, whatever the hell he
Right,
says.
Sparta.
So anyway, he's on the show, and he's like, "Oh yeah, so I had to put on 100 pounds to be this cartoon character that he voiced years ago in this How to Train Your Dragon." And I'm thinking to myself, why in the F are they making live action versions of every one of these goddamn cartoons that aren't even like
Because-
20 years old already?
Because it's safe and it makes dollars.
Oh my God. But it's so ridiculous. He's like, "Oh yes, I played the character again." I'm like, dude, you already did this. What are you doing? Come on. Why are you wasting your time? But they paid him, that's why. But
Rudy,
they haven't- and I
wait a
told-
minute. Racing
What?
movie. We don't speak of Speed Zone. Yes, the poor man's Cannonball Run that they made, where Michael's former heavyweight champion Michael Spinks with a cameo in Speed
Oh
Zone.
yeah.
Horrible movie.
No, but I'm
What
just saying
about-
it's
what
a
about-
joke.
What about License to Drive with the two Corys?
No.
Oh,
Oh, what about
keeping
Death
up with
Race?
Corman. Death
Yeah.
Race 2000.
I just said Death Race. Yeah,
Yeah.
it just came to me. Yeah.
Good stuff. Good stuff. You're killing me.
What was
The
it about?
the remake was good. Was Rebecca Romaine was in that,
That's right.
and then,
was
and then
she?
that kid,
Jason Statham.
and then the kid from the American Pie movies, the big, tall, good-looking.
Jason
kid.
Bateman.
Oh,
That was supposed to be his breakout role.
he was in the Dukes of Johnny Knoxville?
No. It was the kid from.
That was Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah, no, that was Sean William Scott. He was Stifler. No,
Yeah.
Yeah.
no, the taller, good-looking guy. He was
dark-haired
he started the dark-haired kid. That was supposed to be his breakout.
I heard
role.
he just came out. He was on rehab. He had I think it was him. He had a big drug problem. I'm like, that's what
Was that,
happened.
are
to
you
that
talking
kid?
about Jason Segel or who are you talking about?
No, not Jason
now I
Segel.
gotta
He's
look it
on Shrinking. No,
Yeah.
the dark-haired kid. Jason something. You're close.
Not Jason. Bill.
Oh no, the kid that was also in Rollerball. Is that who you're talking
Rollerball.
about?
That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Rollerball.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Rollerball remake
Rollerball.
sucked ass.
Yeah.
It was
Didn't it?
horrible. An embarrassment.
Because
And especially how great the
signed
Con
on.
movie is.
Yeah, he signed on for that, and it was supposed to be his big
Yes,
breakout
yes.
role.
Yep.
And it tanked, and everything else dried up for the guy.
That's what happens. You know, what are you going to
You
do?
know who they offered me today to come in to the show, and I might get him. And I can't think of his name right now, but he was the interpreter guy in Saving Private Ryan.
Chris Klein is the guy from Rollerball American Pie. Sorry.
That's right.
Interpreter
That's
guy
right.
from
No, he kind of looks like Henry Thomas, which is weird because I have Henry Thomas coming
Yes,
to
you
the
do.
show.
Indeed.
So I'll put them next to each other. And they both work with Spielberg, so it'll be like, weird.
Ouch.
Ouch. No, but he was good in that movie. Remember that? When he didn't want to shoot the guy?
Hey,
He
I
was
want to.
crying
I
with the
want to
bullet?
talk to. I want to talk to Henry Thomas about Psycho 4, the beginning.
I remember. Was that the one where he hits his mother over the? Oh no, that was the second one where he gets a shovel and she's eating like a grilled cheese sandwich and he bangs her over the head and kills his real. She goes, "I'm your real mother." He finds out that mother wasn't.
That was
his.
Psycho 2. That was
That
Psycho
was
2.
Psycho 2. I saw that in the theaters. When
Psycho 4. It's a flashback, and Henry plays young.
with Olivia Hussey.
Olivia Hussey's the mother.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's dead now.
She
but,
is dead now.
She was alive. She was alive.
We are the most respectful podcast out there, and I love that.
She was
I love
alive in that movie.
it. She was alive in that movie.
I
Not anymore.
feel like
Not
Mitch
anymore.
needs some food to level out his blood sugar right now.
Do you remember? Sadly, right before she died, she and
Oh, they
the guy-
sued the yes. They
yeah,
sued
Romeo and Juliet sued the studio
Yeah.
because hey, that's childhood porn. And
Yeah,
it's
they
like,
sued.
yeah, it
Ze-
was 50 years, but 50 years ago when that was okay. I'm sorry, kids, you might have waited too long.
Zeffirelli. They sued
That's right,
Paramount. And the
Zeffirelli.
thing of it is,
Franco.
it got thrown out of court because they really filed the suit the day before it was going to be over with statute of limitations or something.
Yep.
And
Yep.
the judge is like, okay, let me get this right. You waited 50 years for this, and you're hitting me today because you know the thing expires at midnight. Get out. Go.
Yeah,
Where the
that
hell were
was.
you for 50 years if you got offended
We
by
saw
it?
that movie in like 6th or 7th grade.
Yes, we went on a field trip with my grammar
Yeah.
school. Catholic, St. Brandon's School. We went and all the
Wow,
neighbors
that's even more
were out
impressive because we were
because
just
they were all
regular-
naked. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, and man, Olivia Hussey in her prime, man. I'm like, yeah, goddamn.
Oh
we
yeah,
all-
that's really sick, John. The girl was like 14 years old. You
Well, I
sick
was,
fuck.
yeah, but I was 14
hell's
when it was
wrong with
happening,
you?
so I don't feel bad saying that. No, I'm
Um,
sorry. I wasn't even 14. I was like 12.
No,
and it was
she was
thrilling.
14 on the screen. That's
Yeah,
why
and I
she's
was,
saying.
and I was 12, so I don't feel bad having that feeling back then, Mitch.
No, back then, but you said it now, though.
No, but I'm saying that was when I'm sorry. She was an attractive teenager, and I was I wasn't attractive, but I was an adolescent, so I don't feel bad about that.
I like that you retracted that you weren't attractive. I'm glad you retracted.
Yeah,
that.
I was not. I was not. I
It
was
was
an
so
ugly kid.
homely. It wasn't funny.
Yeah. Don't look
Anyway,
at me.
back to Doctor Who. I can't believe they fired that Chadwick guy.
No, he wasn't fired. He left.
He left. Because
What's his
also they weren't Shooty Gatwa.
Judy Godwin. I'm sorry, I couldn't remember his name.
No worries. But he
he
wasn't
watching?
sure. He
Yeah.
wasn't sure they were going to keep if Disney was going to keep the show. They were really saying we need a new showrunner, and they wanted Russell gone. And that was another reason why Gat was like, well, if they want Russell gone, I'm not staying.
Wait,
'Cause
the guy that they brought in to save the show, now they want him out because
Well,
why? He's
because-
asking for too much money.
Because those two seasons did not perform well for Disney or even in
Based-
England.
Based on really in England too. I
No,
was gonna say-
the worst ratings of any era of the Doctor. Any
Really?
era. Yes. That's why. And just like Wayne was saying before you joined us,
Yeah,
it needs a rest. It's got to rest for a while.
it does. It does.
Yeah, it's time. It's time.
Bring Christopher Eccleston back. Why not? I like that guy the best. To be honest with you.
You don't understand the word rest.
Yeah.
Rest means put
Go
it
away.
aside, put it on
Go
a
away.
shelf,
Yeah.
put it
No.
with Rick's
Enjoy-
time
enjoy-
travel stuff.
Yeah,
Enjoy the
Right beside
reruns.
it.
Rest, like what
Right.
you should have gotten instead of coming onto this show.
Shut
No,
up.
this is good. I like it.
No. And you know what? They can't because you know why? Because there's
What?
no new original ideas. There's no Blake Seven. There's no Torchwoods. There's no new ideas. It's like, well, just keep beating this dead horse. It's going on for 60 years.
Although
now.
I have to say, I really do love the
Do you
company.
have
And
to?
somebody mentioned it earlier, Big Finish, that does the audio dramas.
They do.
based on, and they really Blake Seven's another great property. They've done Patrick McNee, Dinah Rigg
Patrick
Avengers
McGowan.
stories. No, Pat, hold on. They also did The Prisoner, but I was talking about the Avengers, the British Avengers.
well, he's
the-
dead.
Yes, well, they're all dead. So's McGowan. But no, the Prisoner Big Finish stuff is really good that they made original stories of. the Avengers stuff that they took, because a lot of that first season and of the Avengers, they didn't keep the film, so a lot of that stuff went away. But they had the scripts, and they made new audio adventures of the first season
Boy,
of that.
BBC is a
Patrick
bunch
McGee
of
Adventure.
jackasses. They're
Well,
like
but
NBC.
everybody was like that.
Yeah,
Everybody
they're
was
like,
like,
oh, that videotape Johnny Carson stuff. Just rewipe. We'll tape
Yes.
over it. No one's gonna care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oopsie.
Thank God
What?
somebody called the Doctor Who or the Monty Python people, because they saved that stuff from the trash bin.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, they're like, hey man, if you want your tapes, BBC's going to trash them all.
You know what's so funny? I'm listening. It's not funny,
Whatever.
but it's a reality. I'm listening to the Lorne Michaels biography. It's like 25 hours long, and it's really interesting because I had no idea that his career went so far back into the 60s, up in Canada of all freaking places.
Yes, sir.
And he's like producing stuff, and he's Woody Allen's agent at one point. I'm like, wait, what? And then he's working on shows with Phyllis Diller that she had a special, and Rip Taylor used to be on the Phyllis Diller show, which I didn't know. And he's doing Laughing, and he's the one that came up with the Bippy and the Funkin' Wagnos because they couldn't swear like I do here, so they had code words for it all.
Put that in your Funkin' Wagnos. Exactly.
You put that in your Bippy. And the thing of it is,
Bippy.
Then he went and worked on the Flip Wilson show, which I used to watch as a kid, and I had no idea Flip Wilson was a big dope head, man. He was on blow, weed, acid. I'm like,
well, they all were.
That's why they call him Flip. He was freaking out of his mind, man.
That's why his name was Flip.
More relatable to this, the subjects that we cover here. Barry Diller just did a great one-on-one at the 92Y. And yeah, he said, what was the most, Anderson Cooper asked him, what was the most coked up movie that you ever saw? He's like, oh, Popeye, hands down.
He didn't blink. He knew
exactly, right away.
Yeah, he was talking about how they were getting in the film canisters that they were sending back and forth, that they were filled with cocaine back to the set.
Yep. Oh, look, Spider-Man has joined us, everybody.
Oh, look.
I like it.
I can't see, so I got to put my glasses.
That reminds me of, did Frakes ever tell you guys the story he told us in Orlando at a convention? Back when Frakes was doing Captain America, personal appearances, classic rock bands would have these ridiculous writers in their contract of what they were supposed to have backstage to prove that the promoter of the show really read the whole thing.
Oh, I know.
They put, no green M&Ms is kind of I think that was Van Halen, or no brown M&Ms. I forget what the deal was. But
okay, go ahead.
I was going to say Three Dog Night did a show at the Garden in the middle of July, balls hot in New York. Yeah. And but in their writer, they wanted Marvel superheroes in the green room. So Frakes was there as Captain America, and the guy that would normally play Spider-Man was there. And just like Mitch's Max showed, there's no mouth hole in the Spider-Man mask, obviously. So it was really, really hot. So the band's like, hey, it's great that you guys are here, but if you want to take your masks off, it's okay. So Frakes is immediately like, thank God, takes the Captain America mask off. Spider-Man stayed in character the whole time, and they had beer in little bottles backstage, and Spider-Man is sucking on bottles of beer through his mask. That's how he's drinking the bottles.
That's how Jerry drinks when we go out.
Well, I'm telling you, Frakes is telling us this at 1 a.m, and we are pounding the bar, laughing our asses off. We're like, fantastic.
No, Frakes is a funny guy.
He is a very funny guy. He's a good raconteur. Absolutely.
But F Doctor Who, man.
Sadly, after saying that, any Doctor Who vets coming to Terrificon this year, Mitch?
No.
Okay, that's all right. Shit happens. What are you gonna
do? I bet there'll be a lot. I can get this guy. He probably out of work now.
Should he? Should he? The reason why he quit was because he keeps getting. Because dude, he had that show. What was the teen show that he was on?
He was in Barbie.
He was in Barbie.
Of course, he's in Barbie, but he was on a BBC show that was streaming on Netflix or whatever, and it's a very. That's Sex Education, I believe, is the show.
Hey, did you watch Black Mirror?
Yes, I did.
What did you think of the Paul Giamatti? That was the best one. That was a tearjerker.
But I like the Callister
I watched that again too. That
was really good.
About they're still trapped in the thing.
Yeah, in the virtual world. Yeah, it was really good.
And that's Mary Jane's husband, right? The guy.
Emma Watson.
No, not Emma Watson. Kirsten Dunst. Yeah. That red-haired guy. That's her husband, right?
Oh, I didn't realize that. Yeah, okay. Rudy confirmed. Shooty's show was Sex Education. Yeah.
They were in they were in Civil War together.
I saw that. Yeah. Well, that's on the evening news every night, so I didn't need to watch the movie. So I'm
Did
living.
you watch? Did you watch Clooney's Good Night and Good Luck? on
I saw
CNN?
the movie years ago, and I was like, okay, well, we're redoing this.
Well, it's slightly different enough. And as I was saying earlier, I'm a big Ed Murrow fan, so
Yeah.
I was cool with it and stuff. So I wouldn't say worried. What do you think, Mitch, about season 3 coming up of Strange New Worlds?
Oh, it's only season 3. It seems like it should be 4 by now.
No, but no, well, because it's been 2
Is
years
it
since
really only season 3?
only season 3, buddy.
But how
So
many years has it been on?
2. So this will be the 3rd, and this is 10. We'll get another 10 and 4, and then season 6 will only be 6. So
Wow.
what I was saying was, how's this, Mitch? 5 years. They get 5 years, kind of.
Yeah.
They're gonna have almost half of the episodes that the original series had.
Oh, that's what I'm telling you. I'm like, how did they used to crank out 26 episodes, and these idiots can't get 10 or 6 now? I'm like, are you kidding me?
And oh, it's so hard. It's so
it is
hard.
not.
No, it's sorry, everybody. I don't think it is either.
It costs too much. That's the reason why.
Well, yeah, but also
too hard.
I really, as I was saying earlier, I wish I could be a fly on the wall for a meeting with Paramount and Kurtzman, and them going, it's pretty obvious to us, given all the gimmicks you put in these episodes, you don't like Star Trek. You don't like.
Know what I would love to watch? I would love to watch you want to call it a reimagining. If they took one season or they just cherry picked the best one out of the 3 seasons, and put together 22 episodes of Star Trek. You can call it classic, whatever, and just use the same scripts and do the same exact show with new actors.
Interesting.
And just see if they can get, honestly, because they've effed everything else up trying to recapture that magic. So why don't you just redo those original ones like they remake everything, King Kong and everything. Just remake the original.
But I would say, Mitch, as you know, and I certainly was, I think, the loudest, as I usually am, the loudest complainer. But in the first season of Strange New Worlds, when we got that different spin on the first Romulan episode, and they totally missed the subtleties of the Romulan commander and his moral struggle about we know they're the enemies, and in fact his sub commander, his first officer is like, well, this is our way, and the commander going, must it always be war? Must it always be this? Isn't there something else? And that was really this beautiful Mark Leonard performance, and instead we get, in another world I would have called you friend, and it's like, are you reading a menu? Are you
what they screwed up? You know what they screwed up? They screwed up the Gorn by making the Gorn this crazy alien shit, like alien movie, with the little egg and it hatches and it grows. Well, the Gorn were so cool in the old show, even if it was a shitty lizard mask, and it was the slowest fight you'll ever see in history. But as a kid, I thought it was great. But when they made the Gorn or something else, but then they have this crazy technology, I'm like, wait a second, they're running around like iguanas. And now you're telling me they got enough advanced technology that they're flying rocket ships and shit. What are you doing here? Oh, well, they're evolving. Just stop. You're complicating too much crap. Make them a different alien species. Just call them something else, man. Yeah.
That's my complaint is, why can't they just, say it's another species or something?
Yes.
Like
yes.
Why? No, the Gorn. Everyone loves the Gorn. Yeah, we do. We love our Gorn.
And forgive me, everybody, for us going on a loop here. The likelihood is I'm going to release this as a 2-parter. But that said, also that they did, because we can, this will play until the season actually starts. But I'm concerned. Well, I guess concerned is the right word. Rhys Davies is he going to be just AQ, or is he going to be Trelane?
What, Salah's coming on the show?
Who's Salah? Was that his name on?
No, not him.
Not John Rhys Davies. Yeah.
No, not Salah from Indiana.
Oh, you're talking about
Concords.
the other guy.
Yeah, the manager of the Concords in Flight of the Concords, because in that original teaser trailer they showed him snapping his fingers in a Q sort of way. But he's dressed like Trelane from the original series.
I always thought Trelane was a Q.
Well, again, we were talking about Peter David, and
it was in that Peter David book about the Olympics. Remember that one? The two Qs were challenging each other.
Yes, and Trelane, and he basically intimated that Trelane was Q's, kid.
I'm all right with that because it ties in. And Charlie X could have been one too.
100%, and I'm okay with all of that. But what I'm not okay with is do not call him Trelane. Because if
Yeah.
he's Trelane, then again, you're screwing with continuity unnecessarily so. And we've already established there are other cues that we've seen on screen.
Yeah, there was Corbin
Bernsen.
Benson when he tried to kill himself, remember?
Yep. And also, well, no, that now you're conflating the two different cues because there was the Corbin Benson one or Bernson.
Yeah, Bernson, whatever.
Yeah, and you're right. I guess Q was thinking about killing himself, but there was also that Voyager episode where there was another Q that did want to die, and encountered.
Oh, that's right. Corbin Benson is because they took Q's powers away and made him human, and then
Right.
the other one was the Q that wanted to kill himself. Yeah.
So that's why I got no problem with him being a Q and them not understanding what he was, and also even putting him in the Renaissance Liberace style outfits that William Campbell wore as Trelane. But don't you dare call him Trelane, because this is their problem, Mitch. They treat Star Trek like a bunch of memes. Beam me up, Scotty.
Yeah, but by referring to something that's over almost 60 years old to an audience that doesn't know what in the hell you're talking about is like, why bother? Why?
Well, but again, I don't mind there being a Q suddenly showing up in the Pike era, but and they can even say, well, Spock wasn't on the planet when Trelane was there, so he wouldn't know who he is. And it's like you're trying too hard, and you're trying. Hey, look, shiny object. Oh, look, it's a Gorn. Well, not really. Yeah, but it's Gorn. We say it's a Gorn. Hey, it's Khan again. It's again. This is what
I don't. All this new shit nowadays, where they're trying to take so much of the old stuff and make it new again and redo it. None of it makes sense, because here's one for you. I remember that. Well, the new Superman movie's coming out, and Miss Tessmacher's in it, and I think they've got even a version of what's the big dumb guy of Ned Beatty, Otis. I think there's an Otis character in this new movie. And I remember being like, oh, Miss Tessmacher is going to be this and this one, and Otis is a black guy now, and this. And I go, look, you don't understand something. Those are movie characters. That's not in the comic books, okay? They've added so much to the Superman lore now. It doesn't make a difference whether the character's black, white, whatever. It's all new, and they're just grabbing. I'll take this from the show. Oh, Mom, Pa, Ken are alive. Oh, well, that's from the John Byrne story. We'll put that in this mix now. It's so old and it's been around 80-something years. There's so many versions of it. It's just a new spin. Same thing with Star Trek. I don't think there's any continuity left anymore. I think it's all wide open. We'll get a little bit of this. We'll make a little bit of that. We'll put a new spin on it. There's nobody out there with continuity. They're not sitting there with a Bible going, well, you can't do this because in episode 2, this guy said this. He was walking down the hallway with a red shirt. That's all gone.
All I know is for all these decades of Star Trek, nearly 60 years, we've gotten hundreds, literally, of novels, dozens of comic book stories where they, as I always metaphorically say, they color within the lines. You can't do this. I just had Robert Greenberger on talking about the passing of Peter David, but also I wanted to know how much vetting Paramount did when they'd write the novels and they'd write the comics. And,
they had guys like.
Well, no, I know they did.
Yeah, he's the Star Wars guy.
Yeah, well, Richard Arnold for a while was the Paramount guy, and also there was a woman. Forgive me.
You know what I think those guys were for, John? I don't think they were anything for, as much as we like to believe, it was for fan base and continuity and pleasing all the fans. I honestly think it was probably directed from the legal department.
Sure,
so they would have to not pay this guy and don't pay this guy and don't use that shit again because we don't own the rights to that character. Just like Tom Paris, the famous can't be Akana, because they'd have to pay that guy every episode. Right. A lot of this stuff that we think is done for the fans is not. It's done for money.
No, and I agree with you, but that made the writers work harder to come up with ideas beyond. Would
it shock you, John, if they found out that the reason why they couldn't make the Gorn from the show that we watched as a kid is because it turned out to be they'd have to pay some makeup artist or some weird. You'd be like, is that why we couldn't do that?
I'm also slightly holding out hope that we're going to see an adult Gorn that is more capable of flying spaceships and not just being the alien ripoffs
scurrying around like the alien from Alien 3 when it was
that they're just maybe these are just babies that we've been seeing all this time, and we will finally see adult Gorn. What I want to ask,
going back to that, that's that theory I threw out there. Do you think that's why they changed so much, like tweaking of like, well, this
maybe
is far and this is what it is now?
Yeah, but
and
yes,
What?
Yes, but look at what they've done with the Klingons, where they did go so different in Discovery, and then realized their mistake, and then in that first season or the first episode of
No,
the
the
second
first season is
season.
when they had the crazy makeup on.
Oh yeah, but Strange New Worlds in that first episode of the second season, they looked more like Next Generation
Yeah.
Klingons.
I think that was just a backlash from the fan base because I remember watching.
100%.
What the hell? They got 6 nostrils? What the
But
hell
I'm
is going
saying,
on here?
why couldn't they? Why were they able to go back to that original style, or even the Ferengi, that they can go back to an original style of makeup from those shows and not go back to some version
Well,
of
why?
Born?
What were
I
people's
think in their
reactions?
I think in their mind they're like updating and rebooting this stuff, but it's all going sideways. It's not working. It's not
Yeah.
gelling. And
No.
then they, like you said, then they pulled back and went back to the original Klingons because
Yeah.
they're like,
Well, no,
"Oh,
I'm
we'll
wondering.
update it and we'll reboot it and stuff like that," but it just didn't work. Yeah.
When they did the movie, and I remember when the movie came out, we were all freaked out when we saw the Klingons. Like,
Sure.
what the hell? Why do they got those bumps on their head? What are
Sure.
they speaking? So maybe it was, oh, now we have the budget for this. And again, they get blinded by big budgets
Mhm.
and blow their stupid ass money. And they were like, oh, we're doing Discovery. We've got 200 million. Let's make it worth it. And let's spend costumes with all these crazy makeups. And then at the end of the day, you're like, yeah, if you spend a little bit more money on the story, it might have been a better deal. But
Mitch,
they don't do that.
they
It's too
put
much
like
risk.
Golda May on their shoes.
I
in
know.
Discovery.
I remember watching the
And-
costumes. I'm like, yeah, they're beautiful, but why?
Yeah, and it's like, you know what they did in the original series? Black boots, beetle boots, basically. Really,
Yeah,
when you think
they
about it.
reused whatever they had in the wardrobe department.
Right.
They go spray paint that brown. Okay, that's your tunic now.
Yeah,
Whatever.
exactly, man. No, it's ridiculous. It's absolutely all right. So here's my big question, my big essay
What?
question. Do you think at the end of the 5th season, they're going to find some sort of in-story way of keeping Christopher Pike out of that quadriplegic?
No.
You
And
think
then
they're gonna leave it?
just like it's supposed to be. He'll run into a big fire or whatever, and the gamma
Oh,
radiation.
I think he will still. I am reasonably certain. I didn't say this earlier. I am reasonably certain we will see that scenario where he had to save those cadets.
Yeah.
But again, there's going to be some sort of and actually, Carrie mentioned it earlier. It could very easily be a Q snapping his fingers and going, "All right, everything's fine, and you're not in the chair anymore."
Don't you dare.
I agree, Mitch, but I think it's 60-40, and I'm
Oh.
leaning towards that. Oh no, they're going to give Pike a happy ending,
I was mad when they made Bruce
and not
Greenwood.
the kind that you spend $50 extra for at the massage table.
No, I was mad when they did Bruce Greenwood in the Star Trek movies with J.J. Abrams, and they put him in a wheelchair, and I'm like, okay, at least he's ending up in the wheelchair. But then they kill them off in that shitty Into Darkness, and I'm
Yes.
like, what the hell is
Well,
this shit? You
But
know?
again, they gave themselves that out by saying it's a parallel universe, so things
Yeah,
Yeah, because it was the Kelvin universe.
right. And I again, as Franco was saying, I really hope at the end of the day, all of this stuff is no alternate universe. We're not getting. Don't worry, we're not getting rid of Discovery, but
They're never going to do that. They're not going to do
Well,
that.
we'll see we'll much like Doctor Who. We'll see.
I would
who the
love
new
to see if
characters
you can
are.
find out the ratings on Doctor Who and tell me it's not working.
Oh, it's
Can
there.
they really go back and see who's streaming the new or the old Star Trek episodes? Because it bounces around from like all these different networks, streaming networks. I would love to see what the ratings are on this shit. Like how many people are downloading it? You know,
Yeah,
because
I agree.
what if it's nobody?
Well, again, the guy who played the cyborg in Section 31 was very candid in his interviews and said Kurtzman told me that, and whether there is empirical data of this or it was only Kurtzman's belief, that the fans like us are getting older and literally dying, and that they have to make things fresh and different to attract a new audience.
Absolutely.
And I think, but I think that's a crock because I
don't think so.
No, Mitch, respectfully, I disagree. I think that what you can do is you can show a competent sci-fi story and put people in a mission. Hell, look at what The Expanse was able to do and what Babylon 5 was able to do in the 90s, where they were kind of Star Trek-y, sort of like just basic outlines of stories, but we had new characters and we had new ideas, and it all worked. I think there's nothing wrong with the classic exploration, seeking out new life and new civilization edict of Star Trek to continue and still impress people. But you got to have, as I always say, good writing. and they are hiring people that write romance. Hell, I was saying this, man, I'm repeating everything again, and that's why I'm glad you're here, Mitch. One of the first things they said in the new trailer is to attract us new romances, and it's like we don't.
I saw. Oh, you saw those images I sent you guys, the artwork, the ads. I go, who the hell drew this crap? And I'm like, but it was all couples. It was
Right.
all paired off.
Right.
It was like Spock and Chapel, and I can't remember who else, but I think number one
Ortega's
number
brother and
no,
Uhura.
wasn't number one with the Pike? Wasn't that like, oh look, they're together?
No, it's the captain. And
Oh,
by
the
the way,
two captains.
that's
Yeah.
another thing. Is that a flashback scene, or have they already tipped off? Oh, the captain that was infected by the Gorn and was going to give birth to a Gorn baby or whatever. Yeah, she's okay. She's fine. And it's like, well, why'd you just spoil the end of your own? Because there's so few.
Dude, it's been so long. I forgot that they ended on that Gorn cliffhanger. I'm like, oh, they did that. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
When was that last time? Was it really just a year ago? It seems like forever.
2 years ago. 2 years ago.
It was. See, that's what I mean.
23.
I was like,
23. Because that's how long it takes to make these damn shows. It's
and
ridiculous.
Rebecca was with me 2 years ago. Yeah, holy shit. I'm like,
Yeah,
wait a
man,
minute.
absolutely. And Frakes and Jerry O'Connell. That was like the best. I'm so happy I got that picture of the three of them in the green room just chilling on the couch. And I'm like, am I bothering you guys? Like, not at all. Take the picture. And it's like, all right, man. I got the three first.
That was well, the inside baseball behind the scenes story. One of my helpers, one of my volunteers, he's been with the show for years. I'm on the couch there. Frakes is next to me. Sean Gunn's sitting there eating a turkey sandwich. One of my guys sits down and he just starts. I didn't know what this was. I was unaware. He takes this thing off and he's testing his blood and he's doing his diabetes
Yeah,
thing.
probably blood sugar. Sure.
Yeah, but I didn't know what. I thought he was making a bomb. I don't know what's going on. So we're all sitting there, and Frakes is there, and Sean Gunn, and it's just like all of us are just watching with rapt attention as he's like doing this thing and jabbing his finger and testing the blood. And I go, and as subtle as I am, as you know, I go, Rob, what in the fuck are you doing, man? And he goes, oh, hey boss, I'm just testing my blood levels, and people are eating like,
Yeah,
I'm like, oh god. And then I see Frakes go, I'm out of here, and Frakes gets up, and Gunn is just like staring at it with like, wow, man, I don't know what he was doing, but I go, could you do that shit somewhere else?
That's
man?
not good. Yeah, that's not
People
smart.
are eating here, and I'm watching blood fly out. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh,
Seriously, man, there have been great behind the scenes convention books.
yeah.
And that would be another great story.
Oh, I'll write one day. Oh boy,
I have no doubt.
I got shit, but
yeah,
I don't know what the hell we're
that's
talking about.
no, that's
yeah. So Doctor Who sucks. Go back to that, and then Trek's coming up, and I'll watch that. And I don't know. Is there any more Star Trek movies? Is that shit? That's done. That's
no. Supposedly there's still, and I think maybe Skydance will take over
give it up.
development. The rumor is once Skydance takes over, they're going to have to. They're obligated to finish what other Kurtzman already has in production. So we'll get those 4th and 5th seasons of Strange New Worlds, and we'll get likely 2 seasons of Academy. But after that, Skydance will take over, and the rumor I'm hearing is they will focus on maybe making a movie or two, and then whatever they make, then they will consider going back to TV at a later date. But yeah, I mean, right now, but also the 2 more seasons of Strange New Worlds and Academy would likely take us to 27 at the least, maybe even 28.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't know.
Well,
But
to one of your points earlier, that you can reboot and make it interesting, Galactica.
Right. Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
That was such an interesting take on the old 70s series that it blew your mind away. Like it got my wife to actually sit down and watch one of these things with me because she really enjoyed the characterization of everything. That you could tell a story.
It was just so well done.
Yeah, again, because it was great writing and the actors were up to the challenge.
And how much was the budget on that show?
I don't know.
Wasn't $200 million, I'll tell you.
But yeah, exactly. No, Mitch, I hear you, man. No, they all spent money like drunken sailors.
I know they do.
And I'm glad. And in some ways, I am kind of glad that it's like, well, maybe we need to be more careful with budgets. Well, no crap, everybody. I'm sorry that you're just coming to that realization now. No, it's sad. I don't know, Mitch, are you gonna watch Fubar? The Schwarzenegger show's back on Netflix.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
I liked it. If you haven't seen it, I
watched it. I watched the first season.
I liked it a lot.
I'm weird I'm at this stage. My dad must have been when he sees all these big Hollywood icons showing up on TV. And it must have been like, oh my God, what are they doing now? But now that's the new thing. I mean, you got Harrison Ford, Schwarzenegger, everybody's on TV nowadays.
Yeah. No, again,
it used to be like that step down. When you were watching Jimmy Stewart's show, you're like, Jimmy Stewart's on TV.
I love that show, Hawkins, where he's the detective. He was the lawyer, detective.
I can't think of one big actor.
These are better. These TV series are better than movies, though.
I know. Well, that's the sad thing because I was going to say I can't think of one big star who's not on a TV show. I mean, De Niro's done them. Pacino was done that Nazi hunter thing they had for a while.
Yeah, on Amazon. Even Jodie Foster was the loudest big name. That is
she was on that.
And then she finally did True Detective. Absolutely, man. So no, I think you're right.
Everyone. McConaughey.
Yeah.
Because I think these guys aren't making money in movies anymore. They're like, look, I ain't giving you $20 million to be in this picture because it ain't going to make 20. You're not going to get your money back on this.
But I also think
Cruise is the only one.
Who?
Well, my son and I were talking about this after we came back from Mission Impossible. That I think, arguably, Tom Cruise is the only last movie star from the heyday of movies. He's the last movie star, and if you go within, like, if you have to round out the top 5, we were talking about, like, who would be the next top 5 movie stars?
Downey Jr.
But no, even then, they aren't of the caliber of Tom Cruise, because Tom Cruise has never. Listen to me, because Tom Cruise has never really crossed back over into television or gone over. But who's the next top 5? Maybe DiCaprio, maybe Tom Hanks, maybe Harrison Ford, maybe The Rock, right? Maybe The Rock, in terms of like movie stars of today and stuff like that. But none of them. I think maybe Tom Hanks comes in a close second, but none of them are of the caliber of what Tom Cruise has done in movies, I would say.
He's probably the biggest champion of movies, I'll tell you that. I mean, he knows that's the old. He's really the old Hollywood guy. He's the old.
He held out for Top Gun Maverick, not streaming. Yeah, no, Paramount wanted to stream that movie, and he's like, no, theaters, and he absolutely was right.
No, and the whole thing they did with the what was the Michael Keaton thing with the ghost thing he does, the Beetlejuice. They were going to put that on as HBO, I think, and then they said no.
Maybe they should have. Yeah, but
it made hundreds of millions of dollars, and I'm like,
did it?
Oh no,
did it make money?
It made a lot of money, but they were going to originally just put that straight to HBO. You know which one I could have
sworn? Very good.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I thought it was a shit movie, but it made money. I thought that last Beverly Hills Cop movie would have made money in the theaters.
I agree with you.
And they went straight to Netflix, and I go, this was actually movie quality here.
It was movie quality.
They had no faith in that thing,
No, they didn't. Or also, again, Netflix is kind of a different animal, even compared to the other streamers, because they throw so much money at these things.
But Netflix is smart. If you think about it, the highest paid actor would be who, in your mind?
On Netflix?
No, highest paid actor just in general.
Oh, well, Cruise is up there.
Yeah, Cruise is up there.
It's Adam Sandler. And Adam Sandler's
a rich man.
Adam Sandler makes so much money because of that Netflix deal. Netflix is looking at this guy and saying, all right, he goes out and he makes these movies and people go see his movies, but now his demographics are getting older. Yeah. And they're not out going to the movies. So let's hire him, make movies, and put them out on Netflix.
Yeah,
and that guy's making money.
Why is Happy Gilmore?
And he's still making money. And Happy Gilmore comes out in a couple of weeks.
Wait! Happy Gilmore 2 is going to Netflix?
Yes.
Oh, it's not going to be
in the theaters.
I don't think so.
Oh wow! I don't know if anybody knows.
Now, I could be wrong because I don't know, but I think it's a Netflix movie.
I just think TV just cheapens movies so much. It's like, really, guys, this is what we're doing now?
Yeah, but again, unless it's a spectacle, I don't know.
I mean, that Marky Wahlberg Spencer for Hire movie, that could have been that's fine for TV.
Yeah,
it wasn't worthy.
Happy Gilmore 2 drops July 25th on
really?
Netflix.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought it was a theater thing. That would have been a summer
That's
comedy
shocking.
hit, man.
Yeah, that's shocking. It really
That's
is.
no reason why.
But Naked Gun is going to be in the theaters. first.
Yes, I'm like, yeah, I'll go see that in the big
Yeah,
theaters
yeah,
because
I'm
it looks
curious.
fun.
I'm
And
curious.
then it'll be on Amazon Prime 2
In a
weeks later,
month.
and I'll swear
Yeah, in a
about it.
month. Yeah, I know, man. You're right. You're right.
I like the scene where they're doing the
Well, you know
fathers and
what?
sons in the
Trailer.
police.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Somebody
And
explain this to me. 'Cause
it gets up to OJ. No.
I asked Ordway this. We went to lunch yesterday, and we bought tickets. And Franco knows that because he's not coming with us. I got the Amazon Prime Superman movie premiere, which is 2 days before the movie comes out or whatever. So we're going to see it on Tuesday, July 8th.
Right.
And in IMAX, just like we would associate. But why did Warner Brothers, who has their own shitty, do they still own Max or they're out of that now?
Yeah, no, they're still.
No, they still own it.
They're gonna spin it off. They came out with an announcement the other day. They're gonna spin it off. Zaslav is taking DC and Warner Brothers and Max.
Yeah.
That's why it's going back to HBO, and then Discovery is going to be the other guy.
But why did they go to Amazon Prime to sell tickets for Superman, which is a Warner Brothers thing? And they made more money. Oh, sets a new record. I'm like, I didn't know there was a record to set, but they made all this money by selling these Amazon Prime tickets. And I'm
they probably made a deal where they make the money, and then when it's released, it won't go to Warner Brothers or Max at first. It'll be released on Prime.
That's what I was telling Ordway. I said,
you really think so?
No, I said that to Ordway. I said, if Warner Brothers is so stupid that they sold their biggest movie that they've had out in years, which is going to be Superman, to Amazon. So when it does come out on streaming, it'll be an Amazon Prime thing. And I'm like, why wouldn't you help
Amazon
your
Prime
own?
is probably a bigger streamer than Max or HBO Max or whatever.
Maybe, but I'm like, why would you give? That's your biggest.
Yeah, but you guys might be right. I just see it more as Amazon has the business structure of selling tickets that way that Warner Brothers does not, because of everything they sell.
No, the tickets, because I looked into it because I was going to buy them until I realized I had.
If you were going to Rick Springfield,
right? If I didn't have a conflict, but they were through Fandango, so you
right. That's what I'm saying.
Thank you, Carrie. I do. Through Fandango, I think.
Right.
Doesn't Amazon own Fandango?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So that's why I see it more as a ticket service deal than a streaming to be determined later deal.
I see it also as an advertising.
It could be. Well, and certainly advertising as well. But yeah, I don't see it as the end result being when it's time for streaming. Although, as we know, Paramount put the Star Trek movies on HBO Max for like over a year.
Yeah.
And they weren't on Paramount Plus for over a year streaming and things like that.
It's going to be an interesting summer because with that and the Fantastic Four, and I love if the FF doesn't make like $500 gazillion, oh, this was Disney's, they're screwed, they're done, the Marvel movies are over. I'm like, okay, guys, whatever. What is their backup? I don't see anybody replacing any of these big budget science fiction superhero movies. I don't see any. Is it Wicked? Is it musicals? I'm like, they don't have anything. They really don't. Everything is a sequel. When we sit down in the theater and Franco hears me groan on all the 20, 30 minutes of trailers that are just remake after remake.
Do we need a third Now You See It movie? And I liked they're fun, but really, do we need a third?
I didn't even know they made 3, but I saw that kid on there that plays like Luther.
Yeah, Dave Franco. No, it's
I haven't even seen one of them.
When I saw Thunderbolts, I saw the trailer for 3. Mark has a point regarding the ticket thing, guys. That Flash also had those early Prime tickets.
Oh, they did?
Years ago. They've been doing it for a little bit now.
I had no idea.
I didn't remember that either.
Yeah.
Well,
that's because the guy. Whatever happened to that kid? Did he go to jail?
Ezra Miller. I have no idea.
You don't even see that kid anymore.
I think he and
I
think he and Ray, who was Cyborg.
Oh, Fisher, Ray Fisher,
Ray Fisher, and Jussie Smollett are all on the same, one-way boat to nowhere.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know who I was really pulling for, and people think I'm nuts because I just saw he did a private autograph signing. And if he's out there and anybody knows him, Shia LaBeouf, I think that kid got just done wrong. I really think he had a potential. Well, he had a bit of an attitude, but
he did it to himself.
If you pulled him aside and said, "Listen, asshole, don't do this," I think he could have been a great. I think he's a good actor.
I think
He's on interviews where he's actually gone through and said stuff like this.
Yes.
Like I screwed up.
He
Yeah.
screwed up.
I mean, he's all
But he
Catholic.
also,
now, so.
I'll say, from the comic book world, didn't he plagiarize some comic idea?
He did. He was going to do comic books, and then he stole somebody's idea and
Yeah.
stuff. Hey, who hasn't? But he was in the Constantine movie with Keanu.
Yeah,
And I was like, he was all right. He was in
Mhm.
Indiana Jones, of course.
Well, yeah, but I'm sorry.
I met him
Mutt,
somewhere.
whatever his name is, sucked.
Mutt Williams, buddy.
Yeah, sorry. Not interested. And it was, I mean, when he picked up the hat, and thank God Harrison Ford
Oh
grabbed
God,
it back.
no. Well, yeah, that was
Not only
Lucas.
Not only did
I
they
know.
do that, they didn't learn their lesson with Mutt Williams. They did the same thing with the girl in the last movie. What was
Yes.
Oh, I hate
Phoebe
it.
Wallingford, three names, whatever.
Phoebe
it is.
Waller-Bridges.
Fleabag.
Yeah.
Fleabag actress,
right,
yeah.
Mhm.
And writer. And I know it's
Oh
like,
my God.
So like,
Yeah.
let's do the same exact thing, but we'll make it a female character.
And it's
Uh,
like, why do you can't like this girl? She left the guy to die in the museum thing in the beginning with the 3 Nazi people and ran and saved her own ass. And at the end of the movie, suddenly she has this cold read that, oh, but you can't die here. You've got to go back. You've got things to do. I go, wait a minute. You effing left the guy to die. Didn't give a shit. You blew up a thing of dynamite. His friend got killed, which is one of the worst cameo or appearances ever on Antonio Banderas. What the hell was that about? And I'm like, this is a
oh yeah, he was the Greek
script.
he was the Greek fisherman,
He
wasn't
was
he?
the Greek fisherman, which again made no sense.
Yeah,
I was
Antonio
like,
Banderas, the Greek fisherman.
Yeah, exactly. How come justice for Greeks? How come we don't get to go, hey, cultural appropriation from the
did
Spanish
you guys go off on Andor? Did I miss all that?
Oh no.
No, we didn't talk about Andor, and
What the hell, man? It was the greatest thing since sliced bread.
I agree with you. I assumed that we missed the window to talk about Andor. We could, God, guys, it's already after midnight your time. It's up to you guys if you
Yeah,
want
we've
to.
been on
I'm
for like
flying
3
high
hours.
on so
3
much
hours.
cocaine now. Right now, I don't care. I'm up for another 6 hours. Whatever.
He's
I'm
booking
just
flights.
warming up.
I'm not just listening to the Saturday Night Live book for fun. I'm looking for pointers.
All right. Well,
Below
before we
that,
get to
they're
Andor, I want to Wayne. I promised Wayne I want to hear his list of cult
Oh.
movies that he bought recently.
Crap.
happened?
Yeah, just go through
The
what you
first
remember.
one is Blood Quantum.
Okay,
It's a Canadian horror movie dealing with the zombie outbreak.
outstanding.
But what happens is it's sort of like this little island type community where there's the white people and the natives, and it's only the natives that are immune to the zombie virus.
Oh, good. So the White
So
Devils
it's
are White
really,
Devils.
it's really dealing with it deals with it's almost like a legend of this virus that was going to come where the dead will rise again. It was actually really interesting.
Okay.
The other one was The Dark Half, which was the Stephen King
Oh,
adaptation.
Timothy
that
Hutton,
guy
right?
was at my show last year. Robert John Burke.
Yep.
He played a guy named Halleck who gets hit by something and loses weight. I wish it would happen to me, but it ain't.
Yeah, it was all part of like my Vinegar Syndrome release.
Sure. Great company.
And
Great company.
the third one that I said that I had was Consumed, which dealt with a couple on a marriage retreat, and they're being hunted by a person and this skin changing creature. It's actually pretty hilarious, but
Okay.
Funny?
all part of my collection, as my friends would like to say, my Max von Sydow collection. If Max von Sydow is in a movie, I most likely have it, and
Strange
it's
Brew?
probably true.
I love
Yeah.
Strange Brew.
He's in there.
But yeah, no, my friends, they say I have a very eclectic collection, and that when I do pass on to the netherworld, that people will be going through my stuff and going, "What the
Do you have Zardoz?
garbage?" What? Sorry.
Do you have Zardoz?
Yes.
You do?
Yeah.
I watched that last week because we're going to review that on the Mitch and Ed show.
Oh, it's great. It is just Connery at his
For the red diaper alone. Come on.
yeah.
What? How pretentious were these sons of bitches that they thought this was good? I'm watching this, and who was I telling Franco? They're throwing guns and bullets out of this thing's mouth, this coconut head,
Yeah.
in the beginning, and they're like, guns and ammo, and then they go, man is the fire that the penis is spit out and the poison of the earth. I go, what? What the hell are you talking about? And then they got people in plastic, like they laminated these naked women, and Connery's walking around with that leather
Yeah.
diaper on,
Yep.
and he's like, what drug were they on that they thought on any level that this was good? Because it's
Oh,
not.
it's hilarious.
Yeah,
It's
it is hilarious.
stupid, man. And
Yeah, well,
Sean Connery, what was he, hard up for money at that point? Because I'm
but
like,
it,
why?
but at least we got Vartox from the Superman
Yeah.
Bronze Age out of Zardos, so that's okay.
And he got Killraven. I believe Don McGregor
Oh,
Yeah.
got
that's
that
interesting.
shit off.
I didn't
because-
know
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah,
Wow.
definitely. If you
Wow.
look
Look
at
at
Killraven,
Killraven,
it's
wearing that
definitely
diaper
Zardo.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rich
I-
Buckler.
I didn't put that together. That's fantastic.
Oh God, yes.
That's a stupid movie.
So, all right, guys, feel free. I mean, I thought Andor was amazing. I mean, there's so little to say other than it was incredible.
Well, I got a problem with Andor because let me
Go
just
ahead. Do you really?
no, because what I saw the next day was people saying, "Oh, Andor," and what was the guy that the Liberace guy that had the wigs? What's his name?
Oh,
With the
Skarsgård.
wings.
it's another Skarsgård.
Skarsgård, one of the Skarsgårds. Yeah, the
Right.
guy that was in Thor. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
he's in the movies and he puts the wig on and he does all this work and he finds out the Death Star plans and yada yada yada. And then you got Diego Luna comes in. Is it Diego Luna? Yeah.
Yeah, Diego
Yeah.
Luna.
Yeah, all right. So he says it, and they get the plans, and then of course Rogue One happens and stuff. But then somebody said, "Wow, look at this! They give medals." And again, people are so stupid. They give medals to Han and Luke, who show up at the last minute, some freaking country bumpkin and some drug smuggler with his big hairy bro, and they get there and they blow up the Death Star, and they give these two losers medals. Meanwhile, you've had Luther, whatever his name is, Lexer, I don't know, the guy with the Skarsgård with the hair, and he's over there for years. He gave his life, and Mon Mothma, who gave up her whole family, and she's underground. Yeah, that's all great. Okay, they're background characters. I'm sorry, I don't need to know all. It's a good story, but don't take away from Star Wars. I don't want to go see a movie about a prequel to Jaws and find out that the shark came from a broken home and was beaten up and abused and was on a hunger thing, and that's why it ate those people. Don't take away from Quint and
But it
Hooper.
didn't take away
and
from
the-
anybody
I'm
because
not done yet. So
everybody
anyway,
died. Everybody
Yeah,
died.
exactly. It's all right. Everybody died.
Even
in
the
Rogue
shark.
everybody dies in Rogue One. That's fine. But I'm like, look, you don't need Rogue One. You don't need Andor to like Star Wars. You
Sure.
don't have to sit there and
Agreed.
go, well,
Yeah.
look at all the hard work that these rebels put in. I go, oh, why don't we do a movie about the Bothans? Why? Because Mon Mothma said in Return of the Jedi, many Bothans died to bring us this information. When is Disney coming out with the Bothans miniseries? That's all I'm saying.
Well,
Any minute now, you're gonna
like
watch that shit. For
like
3
Star Trek, I would rather that the properties do not examine their past, but instead move forward. So I agree with all that. But that said, at least what Andor did was make Rogue One that much more important. And I always liked Rogue One
was good
anyways.
to begin with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I completely agree. But now it's like, oh, that's great. Now we have 20 hours or however many episodes. Yeah, I think 20. It was 10 episodes each season. So yeah, now we got an even better story, and you've got even more respect for Diego Luna's character and
if they do a
Skarsgård and everybody
movie
else.
about the Ewoks, a real movie, not like that shitty stuff they did in the
Yeah,
80s.
yeah, yeah.
Like, oh, this is the culture. This is the background. Would that really make it better?
No, not. But again, that's apples and oranges in my opinion. So I mean,
like
this
that Boba Fett
because
I
TV
think
show.
I think the one thing that Andor happened that while watching it, I realized they don't show a lot of aliens. In
There's
Andor.
no aliens on
Right,
Andor. No.
right.
They do show them in like certain scenes and stuff like that, but
Not
that's
much.
not
But that-
money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. And that's okay because, again, we've already established that there are humanoids in the Star
Yeah.
Wars universe. And much like the best Dark Horse comics back in the day, that would the Crimson Empire and some of the other ones, it's like, no, tell me what the rebels are doing. Or not, well, in the case of Crimson Empire, who's the part of the Emperor's Royal Guard. But no, tell me what the humanoids are doing. That's
I
okay.
always thought the Empire was like really racist and didn't like aliens or xenophobic.
Sure.
And that's why you didn't see any aliens aboard the Death Star or in the ranks because they were like freaking white.
And that's why
dudes, mean racist bastards. No, I'm serious. I always thought
get
that.
it.
I said, the Empire is a bunch
Yeah.
of friggin' Nazis, and that's why
Yeah.
they're like pure
Sure.
race people. They want like the Hitler Youth type of thing.
Sure.
And there were no alien people. They used the Wookiees as slaves. They used the droids. They didn't have
Right.
any alien. But then when you went to the rebels, they were everybody. They were like nine numb with the
We'll
big
take
winners.
anybody.
No,
Pretty
but
much.
that was
That's
the
why-
whole thing, though. That was like they're representing the whole galaxy, where the freaking First Order people, even in the new ones, the First Order Empire guys were all British white dudes. They had nobody in there. It was like, nope,
Yeah.
this is it. We don't have alien races. We don't have people of color. This is it. So
They
that's
did,
just me.
and they kept
They
him in the far
did,
part of the
yes.
galaxy because that's where Admiral Thrawn was.
But that was in the good sequels written by Timothy Zahn, the
Yes.
Heir to the Empire stories. But he's a great character. But now
yeah,
Disney,
no.
now
But it
Disney's
also,
using them.
but when you read those novels, it says that the Emperor was a xenophobe.
Oh, what? It's maybe I
It
forgot.
did
that.
say that the Emperor was a xenophobe.
Sure.
He did not like aliens,
Sure.
but Thrawn had skills and abilities better than a lot of others. But he
So
wasn't
he looked
always
the other way. Yeah.
Right.
No, but he wasn't always he wasn't part of the favored crowd, so he was kept at the further distances in the galaxy.
Oh, that's why they had him in the outer rim and stuff. You didn't
Yeah,
see
he was
him?
in the outer rim because
Wow, I didn't realize the Emperor.
yeah, no.
The one dangling plot line that I'd like to see explored is from Skeleton Crew of all shows, where what that planet, like, I understand that planet was kind of tucked away and didn't realize how things had changed as far as the Empire and the rebels and all that stuff. But that said, they were still making those credits that apparently still had value within the new system of, the rebels taking over or whatever.
The
or prior to the New Order. I don't know, but it was really interesting because wouldn't you think it would be like Confederate money that it's like, it's not worth anything anymore. But
it's really it's metallic as opposed to being paper.
I understand.
So the metallic aspect of it could be
Maybe.
like an equivalent to gold or platinum.
Precious metal. Sure, no, I get it.
So it's a precious metal.
It's possible, but I'd still like a better explanation.
Yeah.
And especially after the fact that now they know where Adam is, and what do the rebels and even the New Order or whomever is left? What do they do with this planet?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see that.
That's interesting. It's like they find Nazi gold in Switzerland and like, oh, what are we gonna do with all this? Oh, melt it down and reuse it. Now it's our stuff. Mint it with our logo.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's all they do.
Now, did that test well? Does anyone know if that did well?
Andor?
No. The Skeleton Crew. I don't know. I know Acolyte. I know Acolyte did shitty.
Well, Acolyte was crap. I'm sorry.
Well, Skeleton Crew was fun, but I don't think it set the world on fire.
No, but I think it served its purpose in terms of being a kid's Star Wars show, a live action kids Star Wars, like a good.
And they got Ahsoka coming out next year. Ahsoka season 2.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Right.
That movie. That's the movie. And then they got the new movie coming out with Ryan Gosling and the other guy.
Starfighters.
Sean Levy. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's going to be interesting.
And then Daisy Ridley says she's coming back, which
I really hope that they decide, that's enough. Because again, let's move on. And I am Rise of Skywalker was so annoyingly.
I know. Looking back now, I go, what in the hell?
Crap.
One of the big things with Rise of Skywalker, Han Solo should not come back as a ghost.
No, well, that was supposed to be Carrie Fisher, but she was dead. So they were like, "Did you do that?" What?
And further, what if it wasn't
a ghost? Do it.
What if? Hold on. What if it wasn't a ghost, but it was a manifestation of Kylo Ren's guilt?
Well, that's what it kind of was. It was like
I realize, but that's what I'm saying. It does, even though he appeared as a Force ghost. It didn't necessarily have to be a Force.
Really wasn't a ghost.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
Well, it was. I remember the theater. Everybody gasped. I remember watching opening night, and when you heard that voice, like no, and there's Harrison Ford, and then when I heard, oh, it's because Carrie Fisher was gone, and she was supposed to be a bigger part, and it is what it is. But yeah, I saw Mark Hamill last week. They told him, he's like, look, they killed us off 1, 2, 3 in these new movies. They didn't do us justice. I'm like, yeah, they did. Han Solo dead, Luke dead, Carrie Fisher really dead. Boom. Lando's still there though.
Ha ha ha.
Fucking,
saw someone online put something up, and they should do a TV series with Lando
yeah.
sitting at a table gambling and telling stories, and then the flashbacks are Donald Glover.
Yeah, I'd watch
Doing
that.
all the action and stuff like that.
No,
I'm like,
I
oh,
would.
that'd be
I would
cool.
watch
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the Young
Like
Indiana
Maverick.
Jones Chronicles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's
Sure.
that.
Mhm.
Oh, you didn't like that, Mitch? I got to be honest. I kind of
What,
like.
the Young Indie Chronicles?
Yeah.
Some of them were entertaining. It depends on the storyline. The World War I ones were good.
Yeah.
The Chicago stuff I liked when he was
Yes.
in there fighting the booze wars. But then there were some that when they did with the little 9-year-old
Yeah.
kid.
The
Let
kid
me
ones.
just tell you, 9-year-old kids are not exciting. When it's Anakin Skywalker or young Indiana Jones, it's a 9-year-old kid. You
No,
know
I
what
agree.
I mean? It's like nobody gives a shit.
I was watching this morning the Riff Trek guys, the Mystery Science Theater original
Yeah.
guys.
Yeah.
And they riffed Phantom Menace.
Oh,
And you can watch a 15-minute hunk of the pod race of them riffing on it, and it is so funny. It is so funny. So yeah.
that's still. I mean, and even watching, I was like, okay, Natalie Portman's like, I don't know, 14, and he's 9, and they're gonna hook up, and
Yeah, hey man, weird ideas. I agree with you. I'm not,
Yeah,
no,
and you're
no.
complaining about Olivia Hussey.
exactly, man. And me being
No,
12 years old,
Lucas is weird. Hey, man, look at the Raiders. Oh, I got Karen Allen come to the show. But if you look at the dialogue in the first movie, she's like, I was young. I was in love. I didn't know you knew what you were doing. I'm like, wait a second. How old was she? I mean, again, it's back in the 30s or 20s.
right?
And he was probably like 25. And what was she, like 15?
Probably 17, probably 16 or 17.
I hope.
Yeah,
You
I hear
know,
you, man.
But
Hey,
you get a little weird, like, huh.
Hey, it took even when Jerry Lee Lewis married his 13-year-old
That's
cousin,
right.
half the country didn't blink. So it was sadly it was a different time. It's like when I talked to Marv Wolfman about putting what's her face Deathstroke.
Tara.
Yeah, and it's like and I'm like, and he's like, hey man, Lolita Nabokov,
No, I mean, look at the Professional, that movie with
Sure.
Leon and Natalie
Speaking
Portman.
of Natalie Portman, absolutely.
There was supposed to be a sequel to that, I heard recently.
Oh,
but
that'd
they
be cool.
They never wanted to do
It's
it.
all Natalie Portman's fault. She's in all these movies.
Exactly. Bitch.
It's not
They
quite
should.
a sequel.
What?
It's
No,
not
he
quite a sequel, but in La Femme Nikita,
Yeah.
Jean Reno plays a similar type character that helps dispose of a body.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Yeah,
It's implied that's him,
Well,
it could be him.
but he
it's-
died at the end of the Professional.
casting, given the body of work that he had. Yeah. So
Why,
no,
he's not dead, is he? Jean
Jean
Reno?
Reno?
He's not
I don't
dead.
think so. I don't
Oh,
think so.
okay. He was in that
Godzilla
shitty
did not kill his
Godzilla
career.
movie. Remember that Godzilla movie with Matthew Broderick? What a piece of crap.
Oh, that was horrible.
Hank Azaria. Oy.
Crap. His foot is as big as this park bench.
I
We don't
remember
care.
that.
We don't care. Crap.
Yeah.
All right, we could be that's a good place to end, man.
I gotta go.
Wow.
So crap. There you go. Yeah, I love that Wheaties box.
Hey,
The break.
speaking of
You
Terrificon,
son of a
there's a
bitch. I talked about that in that other show. I said, I'm looking for a copy of that. I found one in Italy, but the whole thing was in Italian, so I didn't buy it.
You should have got it.
No, but the guy had it. I was like, oh, with the rubber band. Yeah. Kyle Baker will be at Terrificon.
Kyle Baker be at your show.
Yeah.
Fair enough. There you go.
Yeah, and he'll also have
What?
Cowboy Wally show.
Yes, that was on his graphic. I put that up there. And he did a Beatles book called
The Fifth Beatle.
Yeah.
Oh
Look
yeah,
at
that's
you.
great. Oh no, that's a great
all
book.
the friggin' I used all those graphics. Hey,
Yeah.
have you talked to Sal since Italy? How's he
No,
doing?
actually, I haven't.
Oh, because I'm
Oh
curious.
no,
how he
excuse
thought
me.
it was.
No, because was Lake Como after the screening of the Alex Ross movie? It was
Yeah.
after.
Yeah, I have it.
So no, I left you and Sal alone because again, especially
Oh no, it's been like a month now. But
No, I realize that.
I watched it. I sat through it. They gave us all video or DVD copies of it.
yeah.
I have you in my house on DVD.
Sorry, man. I know. I
Oh,
apologize.
oh, not just John.
You?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah.
You at least have
Wayne is there. Wayne is there.
Yeah,
Our
I'm an associate producer.
Yes.
I
he's an
well,
associate
yeah,
producer
look at
on the
that.
movie. Absolutely, man.
You know what? I didn't realize Bill Sienkiewicz was going to be there, and he showed up at the opening night cocktail thing, and there was Bill. I was like, "Hey,
Yeah,
what are
Bill.
you doing here?" And I talked to him
Polish
for a
Prince.
while.
He's a good man.
He's very
Absolutely.
nice.
Carrie wants you to know, Mitch, so excited for Terrificon, already planning for our interviews. That's right, Carrie, of course, of the splash pages. She had tickets and a plane and hotel booked since they went on sale.
Well, shit, I better do a good job. Thanks,
I hope
Carrie.
so.
No pressure. No pressure.
Well, let's.
I'll hit one out of the park. I'll do my Babe Ruth eating a hot dog covered with syphilis and point a finger out in the left field and hit one over the fence.
Unfortunately,
My wife will love that.
Those first 2 episodes of Strange New Worlds are going to happen during San Diego. So I don't know how available who's going to be. I know Franco will be at
here.
San Diego. All right, so great, Mitch. All right,
wait. You're going to San Diego?
I'm not. No.
Health-wise, I should be there.
Oh, all right. Well,
Okay.
Franco will be there.
All depends on
Wayne
my
and I
health.
can or rather Mitch and by the way, Mitch, if you didn't see it, I had you on an away mission and I put you in a shuttle and you broke the color barrier, so you were in black and white.
I look like Sputnik.
Yes, exactly. That is the design that I went for that. Yeah.
That's also the same weekend as the Fantastic Four movie comes out. So yeah.
So post Strange New Worlds and Fantastic Four, at the very least, Mitch and I
big weekend.
We'll be back in a couple of weeks to discuss those things, and the boys will be back, and we'll get their thoughts on the first couple Strange.
Wait a minute. What is the week after that Terrificon? No.
Oh,
don't scare me like that. It's like 2 weeks after, right? Jesus.
So no, and that was the other thing I was concerned about. They're going to be busy with.
I'll be. Somebody asked me if I can come onto a TV show like 2 days before. I go, "What are you out of your effing mind?" They're like, "Oh, slow down." That's like the worst time.
It's called video. It's called video recordings. Tell them to look into that. And you can.
No, I told them. I said, so I'm going to go down to the studio on July 30th. I'm like, record it then and put it on then. Don't bother me the last week of the show. I'll be fueled and fired up and messed up, all kind of shit.
Sometimes they need to realize these things. Mitch.
Well, people just think it happens. They go, how hard could it be? I'm like,
yeah, exactly. You roll out of bed and show up.
You only work 2 days out of the year, Mitch. Come on,
man.
3.
4 days, because there's also the EA.
There's GamerCon too.
That's the GamerCon. Exactly. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. As always, good job, gentlemen. And we'll talk next time on Oh Yeah Trek Watch. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye now.